Hello, 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 and welcome to Q&A Thursday, right back here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. Of course, I'm your host, Dane, and to my right, Levi Gates.
Hey, how's it going?
Right, and to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Dane, thanks for having me. Happy to be here, and happy Thursday to everybody watching here this afternoon.
Good to be back.
Yeah,
it's a Friday Eve, right?
Back in the saddle again. Things are looking good. Tacos were tasty today.
Dane, you got a charger.
It's been a good day.
Actually, we probably
I have a little charger stand for my phone, kind of sprucing things up a little.
Dane, you mentioned tacos. So,
yes.
Huge shout out and thank you to our friends over at Ernest Packing, right, for providing some delicious tacos for the TRC team.
Not just media, but everybody.
It was a whole lunch ordeal that we had today, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great.
Plenty of tacos. We had birria tacos. We had carne asada
what was your
tacos.
Favorite?
That carne
chicken.
No,
that
carne asada. I bit into that. Something happened, right? Mentally, it's like it started.
I tried the birria,
firing off different neurons.
Yeah, I tried the birria. Normally, I'm a big fan of birria.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah,
heavy.
But the asada was
asada was
amazing.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Blow your mind good. And so we had a nice Taco Thursday rather than being on a Tuesday.
Thursday.
We are here to do a little bit of housekeeping, but also answer your questions, obviously.
That's what we're here for.
Levi, housekeeping, house cleaning. We're back from SEMA. Check out the Main Show podcast if you want to catch up on that. But what are we doing this week?
What we've been doing this week, we had a meeting this morning where we went over our SEMA stuff, talked about all the different folks that stopped by. So if you were maybe a distributor or a dealer or somebody or wanting to get into selling some microfiber, we got everybody's information over to the Joshes so they can start sending out emails, talking to folks. For those of you that stopped by to say hello, maybe drop off a card, introduce yourself. We appreciate it. We put those in as well. And we just kind of went through all of those things. And then we're literally going to start waiting for our container that we'd put stuff. So people maybe brought stuff to us. Yeah. Some stuff we took home with us that night, but some stuff we just didn't have room for.
There's some trinkets.
So we had to put it in the container. So hopefully our container will be here sometime next week.
Agreed.
So we can start playing with products that people maybe dropped off.
Yeah.
Maybe other companies dropped off, as well as some snacks and goodies and things like that. But it was
a lot of good things.
It was really nice seeing everybody. Thankful for everyone who stopped by our booth to say hello. And then this week is, we're just playing catch up on a lot of emails. Yeah. Playing catch up on what new products we are currently working on and what the next ball, how we're going to move the ball forward with some of those.
It's never just static. There's
also figuring out all the things that, it was great to see everybody that loved all the new items that we did bring. So getting our final times built for all that kind of stuff. And then some other little things around the corner, because again, guys, TRCMA is going to happen soon. 99 working days until it happens.
Yeah, believe me, the guys behind the wall here keep real close tabs on how many working days are left until the show happens. They let us know it. So we had a meeting about that today, too.
Who would have thought?
But it's a good thing, obviously. Yeah. There's a lot of planning that goes into that big of an effort, of an endeavor. And we want to make it, a positive experience for everybody on both sides of the screen. So when it comes down to it, you guys are going to enjoy it. I have no doubts, but it's a work in progress right now.
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Outside of that, though, we do have, some new products going to be arriving here shortly. And then, did you cover that yet?
No. The new products that are coming. I didn't give the actual timeline.
Okay.
Specify.
Shortly,
said we've
been
here in the shoring up the timelines.
In the upcoming weeks, right, that we're planning on. And then we are doing some pretty exciting things for the end of the month as well, as far as maybe some swag, right? Maybe some exciting stickers, perhaps.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Things that we like to usually do around big holiday events. But
it is November.
It is kind of crazy that Thanksgiving is coming up. I mean, it's right around the corner. This last month flew by really fast.
Yeah.
And so have you already started thinking about your turkey plans?
I have. I'm going to be eating turkey at my house.
So, I mean
that's how
that's what I'm going to be doing.
The preparation of the body. Have you thought about that?
No, I have not.
Why do you have to call it the body?
Well, it's the turkey body.
It's a body of a turkey.
Normally in years past, what we do is we'll either make a turkey ourselves or we'll go to our friends at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Country store. and get one of the to-go meals.
Oh,
Great
so
Thanksgiving feast at a reasonable and affordable price.
Yeah.
You do that.
They give you all the fixings. You can literally show up in your pajamas, pick up the order. They'll load it in your trunk for you.
Yeah.
Come back
It's
home,
just that much.
eat it right there. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I haven't really thought that far ahead yet, but I will say that I've been seeing a lot of videos popping from social media, people just giving ideas of deep frying turkeys, right? Or bathing them in butter.
That's how
or,
like half the people who have horrible accidents at home, it starts with trying to deep fry turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Do you have any fires are
So-
caused by
yes,
trying to
so
deep fry
many.
turkeys
so when
every
are
year?
you deep frying yours on top of your deck?
Yeah, no, my house definitely
You can do
doesn't
it right
need
there.
that.
You can do it in the
liability.
living room.
No, thank you.
It's pretty simple.
I'm all good.
Propane tank,
He's
all
gonna,
good.
he's gonna do it in the remains of his front yard pool.
4 gallons
Oh,
of
wow.
oil. You get it done.
I mean,
It'll
at least
happen.
if I start in a pool, the water's already there to put it out.
That's
I hope.
true.
But a grease fire, water doesn't do
Yeah, it'll melt everything around
it.
it.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, so I think we can jump into some questions
Sure.
right now. If anybody has
Pull
any
up.
questions specifically about SEMA,
Yes.
now would be a good time to ask them while things are still pretty relevant. You can ask about the products that we
New
may have
products we
seen
saw.
there, or we
Yeah.
experienced, or pickup we held. Maybe you want to ask
Certainly-
about the Rupes machines.
I was
Whatever
gonna say
it may
that's
be.
probably gonna be at top of a lot of people's mind. Is like, okay,
So fun
the
fact,
Rupes machines.
Yeah.
I spent that whole week
Yeah.
going, man, I can't wait to go over and look at one of those machines and
Oh,
get some
no, you
get some
didn't-
seat time behind it.
You didn't get
Yeah.
a chance.
Not one
Oh,
moment.
literally, you could see it from where you were in the
I could
booth.
see it.
It was
I could
less,
see everybody playing
less
with
than
it,
20
having
feet
fun
away.
with it, enjoying it.
Yeah.
The times that I was away from the booth, I went to use the restroom or grab a soda and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
the
was
other
it.
direction.
So I never got to, and the tool that I did get to get some seat time behind,
Yeah.
because I was walking by, the Udos 3-in-1.
Right. The
I got
new
to got to play with that one a little bit.
Yeah.
That was all. I was really bummed. I didn't get a chance to fire up one of the Rupes and go for it. And I walked over to
Oh.
Jason and I said, all right, when we were packing up, I said, are all the tools packed away? He's like, yeah, they're already packed. I'm like,
Womp womp.
Bummer.
Well,
Deal.
anyway, you guys, though, got to play with them. You got to have
Yes,
some
I
fun with
did.
them. So I'm very excited to hear your
Yeah.
topics on it. So
I'm throwing up JoJo Crawdaddy
Okay.
here first. Send it up on the screen.
There's
It does not
nothing
appear
there.
to be showing up. So
JoJo Crawdaddy saying,
Yes.
hey, fellers, I bought one of the IK Minis with the flexible pickup tube. Well, after running forced at 50% dilution for a few months now, and the tube is no longer flexible, it has stiffened. Huh.
the tube has stiffened.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
I didn't even know.
Don't believe I've heard
didn't know it
anybody
could do
else talk about that.
yeah.
I mean,
Probably soak it in some hot water and see what happens.
maybe. I
place
mean, but
to
at the same
start,
time,
I
though, I mean,
guess.
force is pretty strong in general. I mean,
it's a
and
high alkali.
14 on the 14 pH, I believe, is what a Forced has. And even at 50% dilution,
Yes.
it's not going to lower the pH by
That
that
much.
much.
Now, is the pickup
Maybe
tube
1
made
point.
of vinyl or what's it made from?
No, it's a little rubber tube. It's kind of like a rubbery plastic.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That way
like
it flops around.
You know, you get clear vinyl tubes and stuff.
Yeah.
So is it not
no,
like
it's
that?
it's
more of a
flexible. It's a
silicone-y
TR
kind of
Mini, I
one.
assume, is what he said. So
Okay.
that's a 360
Yeah.
Mini.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
I tried just soaking it in some hot water first.
There
That's
we
what I would do.
go.
I'd put it in some hot water, let it chill out in there. Hopefully, it'll leach out some of any contaminants or anything that are in that plastic or rubber that are causing that to stiffen, and it might be more flexible again. But yeah, the Forced is a strong product to be putting in that flexible pickup tube.
Now, one question.
especially in a mini.
Yeah,
Especially
I mean,
in a mini.
If you just left the product in the mini when
That's
you
what he's
weren't
saying.
using it and it's sitting there for a long period of time, that becomes more believable that it could have done something.
That's
to it,
literally
like
what he
he's saying.
says
Yeah.
right there.
I'd say as opposed to you run it out every time you use
Yeah,
it,
no.
and then that's
Yeah.
that.
Dan Pfeiffer with a good afternoon and a word up from Pittsburgh,
Yes.
PA, saying, Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. What was each of your favorite new product, non-TRC, at SEMA? I think seeing the new Rupes was really cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing the new Udos 3-in-1. I liked seeing all the new KCX stuff, too.
Okay.
That was
yeah.
really cool.
Agreed.
Got to play with some of those. So
Nice. So, yeah,
Anthony?
I sent that up on the screen. It did not do it.
Favorite? Oh man, I don't know, man. I'm a pretty big fan of the new Rupes machines. I'm a pretty big fan of really like that new Viper chair is super sweet. And then of course stopping by our friends over at Coach Kemi to go get the new smells. Right, they have a new Fresh Up scent coming out that I think that many of you will really enjoy, right? It's not called Fresh Up for Men, unfortunately.
Right,
I asked them if that was going to be
I asked them
name.
as well.
Had
I
a few
said, did
different
you
names.
finally change the name to Fresh Up for Men like Anthony has
Yeah, I
asked?
said
And they
no.
all had a smirk.
Yeah.
We don't want to exclude it.
Said it's coming.
For that, I believe the two
Smells too
names
good.
that they're going to settle on is going to be Fresh Up Wild and then Fresh Up Velvet.
Velvet, that's right. Yeah, and even
Velvet
Andrew
was
seemed
nice.
to not be sold on the Velvet name in particular. The Wild one, they seemed pretty locked in. But
Wild
the Velvet,
was
he was
good.
kind of like
Velvet, he was like,
not
I don't know,
sure.
it's pretty good, whatever.
Wild. I definitely got where they called it that. Velvet, I could go either way on. Although I don't know what I'd call it if it wasn't Velvet.
Interesting. Michael Coffin
Bam.
says, let's see, pressure
There it
washer
is.
suggestions for a DIYer. Was thinking about active AR 630 TSS or the Krensla 1322 TS. AR being the middle ground is slowly becoming my winner. Gosh, I mean, the active 2.0. Everybody that's
good-
everybody that's used
Everybody
it
loves it.
I actually got to use it the other day when we were doing our wash on this upcoming video.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And dude, I think the thing packs a punch, man. Like I think it's got
Enough
everything
to
you.
take you away from your Karcher cube?
Oh, absolutely, Dane.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not loyal to Karcher for any
Okay.
reason. I mean, I think that they make
Well,
good
you have
products.
gotten like 2 or 3 of them at this point.
No, I just 2. I've got. I think that Karcher makes fantastic products, but I mean, the Active 2.0. I mean, that thing busts out some serious power, and I felt the terms of how loud it was and just the overall pressure. I thought it was a really good, really good pressure washer. So.
All right.
Consider that the Krensla. We have a Krensla here. I don't know which model it is. Ours is the 1700
Yeah.
that we
think
have
so.
here, somewhere around there. That thing's also pretty good. I think they're pretty comparable.
But for price, the Active is you can't beat it.
It's a
well,
sweet spot.
the Active, I think is. I don't know if they're at 300 right now or at 400. I don't know. I felt like initially it was like a $200 pressure washer, and now they are.
They're right in that $300.
I was like,
up or
$200.
down.
You're still
They kinda
pretty
move.
close to the cheaper
They're
like
like $290 to
Sunjoes and stuff
$340.
like
Like you can find them
Really?
find them for certain prices on Amazon.
Can
Some
you?
of the big box stores that sell them.
300
You can find
would
some
make
deals on the
sense.
internet if you're looking for them
What
hard enough.
about you? I mean, you're a Sunjo guy through and through.
So that's the thing. You and I had
Yeah.
this conversation. I'm thinking about possibly for 2023, 4.
Yeah.
What year is
What
it?
year is it?
2024 doing a new pressure washer for the MOSHQ. And looking at the Active, I don't know. I want it.
It's a big.
I want it
it's
because
a-
I know
it's
it'd
a-
be great.
It's
But
a
I
big little
also,
bill, yeah.
in my head, I go, man, I got that Sunjo for like $100 and it's done everything I've ever asked it to do and then some. And it's been doing it since 2018
Yeah.
with no hiccup.
No, I get that.
survived.
I get that part.
So part
too.
of me goes, maybe I just get a new Sunjo.
I mean,
Or maybe I get a Karcher Cube.
yeah.
Or, do I need to upgrade? Not really. Do I
Yeah.
need to get better? No,
With the
like, everything
volume
does
you're
fine.
going through, it seems like you don't necessarily need to go to that next level unless you're doing a more all the time kind of detail situation.
I'm doing it once a week, so I'm
Yeah,
washing
he's
all.
getting his money's worth out
I
of
get
out of
that.
whatever he's
I just mean
using.
he's not
Yeah.
doing it like once a day. So
Well, it feels like it. But yeah, no, I'm like, and there are people that have the Actives that aren't doing it
right.
to the level that I'm doing.
Well, I
it.
think there's a certain percentage of people who buy the Active because it looks cool, and that's almost the guiding principle there in some cases.
Yeah, but it works. It's a great tool.
Oh yeah,
you
nothing
know,
wrong with that.
like
I'm just
I
saying
said,
the
I'm,
aesthetics compared to other pressure washers. There's definitely people who are like on the fence, and then they get the aesthetics of that versus something else, and they go, "Yeah, I'm taking the Active."
yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know. See, Karcher Cube, Active, Sunjo.
Yeah.
Who's to say? Stay tuned.
You're leaving it up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Umberto saying hello from the TRC team. Umberto, welcome.
Hello.
Then Ken Superato saying happy Thursday Q&A with the three amigos. Let's go.
Hey yo. And then a whole bunch of back and
And
forth.
Jeff C saying, hello, gentlemen. I just coated my X5 with Diamond Body 36, but was only able to get a second coat done on the hood and roof before running out. Did I apply too heavily? I used the Pearl Puck applicator. On the X5, you might have applied a little too heavy, but you're totally fine. That seems great. It says, I also applied diamond glass to all of the glass. Both went on very easy, and I appreciated the hazing effect of Diamond Body 36 as an indicator when to wipe off. I only had one high spot that easily came off.
Nice.
That is awesome. Jeff and I had a conversation right before he put that up.
Yeah.
I gave him a call and told him, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just get the coating on. And
that does
and
seem to be the
have
thing
some
that stops
fun.
a lot of people is just like frozen in your tracks. Should I? Shouldn't I? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
just do the thing, and then you'll experience it, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, and there were some questions that he had for other folks have run into and stuff, and I said, dude, I think with everything that you have and the way you clean it, you're going to be fine. Also, remember an SIC coating like that, where it's a carbon-based coating, doesn't always need to be washed frequently. A lot of people tend to want to wash them all the time. I said, with having a toddler and not having a lot of time, it's like Anthony washing his wife's car. Like every time he washes it, it's months between washes and it comes out perfect.
Nice.
So I just said, just remember that. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's
You know.
true. Looks like we've got
Hello,
Nice.
Tell fans, says Hans Closen.
Got Eve saying hi.
Hey, hey.
And then ADLA says, welcome back. Got all 4 mystery boxes.
Wow.
Overall, a great selection of products. Wished for a tiny bit more chemicals and a bit less towels, but overall awesome. Can't wait to try Defender and the Utility Rush. Yes, that is true. This particular mystery box batch was a little bit less heavy on the chemicals and more heavy on accessories and towels.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think when I was building everything out, the chemicals are the one thing where it can kind of vary in terms of, I mean, not can vary. It can definitely vary in terms of what people may or may not need, right? Because if I throw in a bottle of bead maker, people go, "Oh, I got bead maker." If I throw in a bottle of, I don't know, Express or Magic Wheel Cleaner or something like that, those are usually things that people already are very familiar with. So I try to mix it up every once in a while to say, all right, well, we'll do a little bit less chemicals, but since we have some new accessories that are out, maybe accessories that people haven't tried, try to get those in people's hands, including what I think there was an IK sprayer in one of them. There's a trigger sprayer. There was, Ultra Clay scrubbers that was in one of them. And I don't know, the list goes on.
Well, to the point about the chemicals, because this comes up every single time I see the commentary online, on message boards, all this stuff. No matter how hard Anthony in particular may try to like come up with an exciting, new combination of things for a mystery box, inevitably somebody out there goes, "Oh, another glass cleaner? I've already got one." Like somebody will be disappointed, and that's impossible to prevent. However, that's why you had less chemicals this time around, so it just kind of negates that argument, first of all, but also you did have a lot more things to offer besides just chemicals. So
Yeah.
I think if people were expecting to be heavy on the chemicals, don't always necessarily expect that. It comes in waves. So,
Yeah. There's
just
other boxes we've had
trying
that
to
were
give
very
you guys
heavy on
something
chemicals.
novel and
But
unique and new.
we got to switch it up every once in a while. And
Yeah.
also, too, keep in mind some of the chemicals that we do sell, like really anything in the Kosh Chemie line that's 1 liter and up, right? It's an expensive bottle. It's like 40.
Oh, yeah.
It could be anywhere from $40 to $60, right? And if I throw that in, then that box,
You can't give them much else.
I can't give you a whole lot of other things, and it'd
while
be kind
keeping
of
the
an
value where we say it
underwhelming
is.
box,
Yeah.
and then they might go, "Oh, well, I already have a whole bottle of Top Star," and I'd be like, "Well."
Because it's a gamble,
You get-
right?
you get what
it's
you
a real
get.
gamble on your end and on theirs.
I think it's a pretty
So,
balanced box,
yeah.
though. Eve says, if you have the budget, go with Krenzla. The AR seems good, too, but personally, I'm looking forward to the Active 2.3 coming out in 2024. I didn't even know there was an
I might
Active
have to do
2.3.
that.
2.3.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, 2.3 Levi on an Active?
I don't know.
Depends
See how
on the
much it
price,
is.
right?
Yeah,
We'll
if
see
it's
how
like
much.
$400, I'm going to say no. There's no reason for that.
I mean,
That's 4 Sunjos for you.
4 Sun Joes
you
or
could
4
s-
Karcher cubes I could buy.
So, you know how Matt has 2 Krenzlas, like, linked up, right? 4
Sister.
Sunjos.
What if I had 4
Oh my
Karcher
God.
cubes?
four
Four
Karcher
Karcher
cubes.
cubes sistered together.
Yeah.
Just like Voltron, you stick them all
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing.
So Augie would go to use, he'd blast himself away.
Well,
that'd be great. That'd be
but in the
great.
case
He's
of
like
the
flying
active
up
thing,
to the roof.
maybe it's going to be like cars, where the last year's model is finally going to come down a little bit in price, hopefully. And then
Possibly.
let the people who go after everything new
Yeah.
get that, and you get yourself the one you like.
There you go. I like it.
We got Mary Mary's here, says good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And then Brian here with the Coconut Earth.
Just yelling it out there.
Just yelling. Product yellers, we're back.
Dude,
nice to see it.
I got a frog in my throat right now
Little bit.
that is stuck. And I'm like, hey, come out or go in.
Yeah.
Right? What are you trying to do? But I can hear my real voice breaking through.
It's trying.
You're going to start ribbiting
Yeah.
here pretty soon.
Well, hopefully.
Well,
Dane, right? That'd be fun.
Darren from the Hairy Housewife saying, hey guys, SEMA looked amazing. Thanks for keeping us up to date with the love streams.
The love streams.
Oh,
nice.
Darren.
And then-
I think you mean the live streams.
Then
but hey,
Hans, love
appreciate it.
streams. Did I miss the late night stuff
I
already?
was going to say, that might have been after dark.
Hans is like, I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
No.
If there was a love
It's
stream,
like was
I
there.
would be there.
Didn't see it.
Oh, man. It didn't happen if he didn't see it. All right, we're on here. Wait, let me
Nope,
make
go
sure
back
I
to
didn't
5.
miss anybody.
There you go. Private
Okay.
shows. Anthony will do anything for more honey.
That's probably right. Not
There
wrong.
we go.
For
Wait a second. Another
JD
one just
Garut,
popped up.
Bearded
Whoa.
Hunter.
Dang.
What's up, my dudes? Happy Thursday. Hope your Thursday's going well. It was great hanging out with you guys last week. What was your favorite car in West Hall? Our car, arguably, other than the Earth Roamers.
I mean, the Earth Roamers were sick. I actually, like, as much as I'm kind of torn on the new Z being like, it's kind of a lot of money for what it is, the off-road rally version was very cool. And I love seeing
cool.
that 240 next to it. I mean, a 240Z, not a 240SX, but the 240Z they had next to it on the big off-road tires, rally style as well. That might have been one of my favorites.
That
I
was
saw
really
in that
cool to
haul.
see, yeah.
And of course, then there was the F40 over in G-Technic's booth, which I found that shade of green to be very pleasant on it, more so than the pink it was last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
No, that was super cool.
Yeah,
There
there's
we go.
some cool cars.
All right, next up, I
JD.
got JD.
What's up, fellas? It's been a minute, but I'm glad I was able to catch this one.
Glad you're able to catch
Thank
it too.
Then Han says, poor Tony.
Oh,
Then Eve saying, hi, TRC team. I have a big question for you. Can't seem to get an answer on it. Can we use P21S Total Auto Wash in the Ultra Engine Blaster? Use it straight out of the bottle or diluted 1-to-1. Ooh, Eve. So
One question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would make sure you got a respirator. Total Wash, I believe, is just a soap, as far as I know. I wouldn't. I don't know why you want to use that if you're trying to clean the engine. I would, if you're not using a pressure washer to clean that motor.
there are better options.
Yeah, I'd use a pressure washer over the engine air blaster. The engine air blaster, tell me what motor you're spraying it on.
The engine
for
air blaster
one.
is completely capable of
It is. It's
detailing
just
an
a
engine.
Yeah.
lot of product.
I just don't know what
It
he's.
just comes down to the
I
product
just don't know
you're
if I would
using
just
with
throw
it.
a soap into it, just like a
Yeah,
pure soap.
if you're
I
just
would
putting
throw
soap and water. I'd
throw maybe an APC that's diluted.
APC
I would,
degreaser type thing.
Yeah,
know,
that's what I'm saying. What's the
dressings.
motor? If it's a fully built, polished hot rod engine,
Sure.
and he wants to use something pH neutral, and that's why,
Okay. Yeah.
then I'm like,
I
all
could
right,
see
I
that.
get it. Yeah, you can do that.
But if it's if it's a grimy, mostly
but if it's
metal
a- yeah, if
engine
it's a
that
big
you
grimy motor, you're just
normal
trying to-
car from the 90s or
100%.
80s, then you're talking about get the degreaser
Or
get
just
the APC.
or use a pressure washer.
If it's mostly
you
a
don't-
modern thing with a lot of plastic covers and stuff, then you can kind of change your
yeah,
attitude too.
exactly. So I think you need to tell us what you're going to be
That would help if we
spraying
knew
with
exactly
that.
what you were trying to work on.
But yeah, that's kind of the thing I said. So
Okay, yeah.
Han says, or should I say Rich Tony now?
Whoa, what happened?
I don't know. Radio Marmot saying,
Hey.
what's the recommended wait time between applying solution finish and over the top? One of your videos shows you guys doing it immediately, but the other says to wait 12 hours.
That seems
question.
excessive.
So basically you want to put it on it depends on the plastic. So on some instances when you apply solution finish to the plastic, it absorbs it almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
And you have to put another coat on. If it's a fresh plastic and you put it on there, you can let it sit for 30 minutes and wipe it off, and then you can apply over the top right after that. Otherwise, if it's a very dry plastic and you are refinishing it,
It's like soaking it up.
it's going to be absorbing it, and you may have to put 2 or 3 coats on, and you may have to wait on those coats to make sure that it's properly penetrated. So then once you've let it sit for a really long time and you've placed those 3 coats or whatever you've done to it, that's when you give it the length of time it needs. And that's when I say, hey, if you can, let it sit overnight,
That makes
come
more
back out in
sense.
the morning, knock it down with a dry towel, don't do your final wipe off until after you've let it penetrate and sit for as long as it possibly can, because that way you'll have product on the surface. If it's full, it's just like filling up a gas tank.
Yeah.
Like if it's full, it'll be on the surface still and you'll be able to wipe it off.
Yeah.
But if it's absorbed it sucks it in. So that's the biggest thing you need to check on, is just making sure that you're giving it the proper amount of time to be able to fully absorb into the plastic. So that's when I say wait overnight. I don't think I've ever said 12 hours, but wait overnight, then dry it, then put your over the top on top.
Okay, I was just going to say, during last year's TR-SEMA, or rather this year's TR-SEMA, back at the beginning of 2023, when Chris West did my flex, my windshield cowl, just the area along the bottom of the windshield, they did that demo where they're actually putting it on there, and then he only did half, so he just told me, hey, when this is over, go back and finish the rest, and he told me just wait like half an hour to an hour, and then we're good.
Yeah.
So in my case, it was fine, because mine wasn't like totally sun-baked. It wasn't fried.
Agreed.
It was a normal level of just kind of worn looking. So it was just that splotchy look you get.
Yeah, like the Suburban, when I did it, it was that I needed to do a couple coats because it had never been really
I went on
cared
there
for.
one level a little light and then followed it up with a slightly thicker one, and that was plenty. Like, if anything, it was a little too much.
Yeah,
And then I went over the top not long after that, and it was good.
Yeah, and it lets you, like I said, plastic, it lets you know, it acts literally like a fuel tank. Like, it'll tell you if it doesn't need a lot, that'll be sitting on the surface.
So user-friendly.
Yeah.
ADLA.
Also got gummy in the boxes. Would you use it on floor mats, or would it be too slick? I know you guys rave about Gummy Fix, and I might get that later on down the road. So Stjarnaglas Gummy is a tire dressing. It's also an exterior plastics dressing. You could use it on the mats. I would recommend that you hit it with a damp cloth or go back over it with like a light APC or interior cleaner just to knock it down.
Yeah, don't leave it that way.
Because if you leave it, it is going to be very slippery. It's not designed to do that, but it is an exterior dressing. So you could put it on tires. You could put it on your plastics on the outside. You could use it that way.
Most exterior things without any issues at all. So, but yeah, it does have a little bit of a slick feel. So just be careful. That's all.
Yep.
Peter Williams says, "What's new in your store today?" Peter Williams, thank you for asking. That's a wonderful question. So what's new right now is the Ultra Air tools. What's out of stock right now are the Ultra Air tools. And so, unfortunately, we were able to sell out, which was great for us, of most of them. But unfortunately for you guys, it means that many of you will have to wait to be able to restock. But
don't worry, we are going to be hopefully restocked with some of the new products as well as the air blasters
in a few weeks.
Time for Black Friday.
But Peter, here in the next week and a half to 2 weeks, we're actually going to have several new products hitting the website. So
that's what I want to say.
Stay tuned for that. We'll let everybody know when those go live.
Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already.
Scroll to the bottom of the main homepage, and there you go. Put your email in. We don't spam you. You just get the basics, and that's it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the one, the only, My Guy Kirby. Says afternoon. The front just rolling over Houston, so rainy day ahead. Yuck. Mobile detailing closes the doors for rain days. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see
time
that.
to time.
Yep, I would agree with that. And then Josh McKay here saying, happy Friday Eve, everyone. I rinseless washed 2 of my cars last night in the dark with just a headlamp.
Attaboy.
Wow.
That's what I think I'm going to be doing tonight. I got a truck I have to wash when I get home.
It's going to be dark by the time you get home.
Yeah.
But that's what I think I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be putting on my headlamp, maybe busting out a couple lights, and lighting up the outdoor wash bay in the MOSHQ. I got an F350.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully a transformer doesn't blow on your block.
Yeah, well I've got my generator, so
that's
I can plug in, power the whole place.
Okay,
So.
well, good.
Fun fact, actually lost power last night at my house.
That's why
I let these guys know. Transformer blew on my street or something like that. It was actually called the CBL something. Hold on.
There's a technical name for it.
LBC?
The LBC, the Long Beach.
Long Beach, California.
Yeah.
So
something blue in the LBC.
I don't know what they have to do with Idaho Power.
Something blew, right? I heard a boom.
Yeah.
And then bam, everything shut off. And
That's when you heard the bass from the amplifier.
And I go, oh crap, right? Like what's
that sounds like a transformer.
Like what's
maybe
going
they have
on?
a real
right?
name for it.
So immediately survival mode, right? I go, put myself in the position that I am in a dystopian world, a post-apocalyptic world. We've lost power. Everybody's fending for themselves. I'm looking out the windows.
You ran to the bathroom first to go to the bathroom and make sure the plumbing was still working?
The neighbors still had power, so I knew that maybe things were okay, right? Zombies
the neighbors?
Yes.
One house.
No. Actually,
you showed in your video. You only showed
only
one
my
house.
street was affected. Everything else, all my other neighborhoods around me were unaffected. So it was just my neighborhood that was affected by this power outage.
Your video was very dark.
So I go, oh crap, this isn't good, right? You're right. What did I do first? Went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Flushed the toilet. I said, this is plumbing. It's non-electrical.
Perfect. We got that figured out.
I got that figured out, right?
Yeah.
Next thing I did, turned on my flashlight. And you know what I want? Okay, out of all the things in my home that I went for, do you know what I went for first?
Scan grip, multi-match 2.
Yeah. Nope, I don't have that. But I went for my scan grip headlamps.
I was going to say a scan grip.
I don't have the multi-match.
I meant the iMatch headlamps.
Yeah, so I grabbed my iMatch, right?
That's what I meant. iMatch 2.
Turn that thing on. Do you know how powerful that thing is
100%.
in pitch black?
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
I lit up my whole house. Like I could literally see into 5 different rooms from the one.
So I've got one of the big multi-matches.
Yeah.
And when I charge that thing up and it's full, I can literally like lay that on the ground, turn it up, and turn it to its 50%, and it lights up my living room like I have 3 lamps going.
Dude,
it's crazy.
So I grabbed that. I grabbed my other one because I have 2 of them because I have the newest version, the iMatch 3 and the iMatch 2. Flipped one, pointed up towards the ceiling, lit up my whole living room. The other one, I was just trying to do survival techniques, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go outside, my neighbors, go check with my neighbors, see how everybody's doing. Everybody's
Use the bathroom
inside their
outside
house
as well.
Yep, I'm texting people like, okay, well, the household seems to be fine. My wife and my daughter were out
good.
It was just
dinner.
you home.
So it was just me. But needless to say, though, in those moments,
Did you start canning beef?
No, I didn't start canning beef, but
Okay.
I was just trying to think of what would I do in this
Picturing
situation.
yourself at the beginning of This Is the End.
Yes, pretty
Yeah.
much. I started grabbing all the candy bars as I could, and,
Yeah,
and
normal stuff.
eating the ice cream before it melts, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, that's
But-
just being thoughtful.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
right?
being
That's
thoughtful.
just common sense.
My wife walks, "What are you doing? It was gonna melt. I had to eat it all."
Science.
She's like, "It'll refreeze." No, but no, I did realize though, the scan grips are not only amazing during a power outage, but they're just they're amazing for detailing as well. But what I really did wish I had was a ego generator. Right? You ever seen those before?
I have.
So
I want one.
I want one too. Those ego generators, dude. That would have not only would have saved me, right? But I could have restarted my racing simulator that shut off on its own,
You were
right?
downloading
due to
something right
due
in
to
the
the power
middle of it,
outage. So I could have continued racing for the night, and then my wife and my daughter would have gotten home. I would have been a hero.
Yeah, you would have
They would
power?
have said. She would have been
You'd
like,
have-
"Daddy, like the
they
power,
all could have had
the
scan grip
lights."
headlamps on?
My wife would be like, "What are we gonna do?" And I'm gonna say, "Look at this ego generator right here, right?"
running the fridge.
And
Everything's
she,
cool.
and she goes, "How much was this?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter how much it was.
$1,500.
Don't
Look,
ask
it's
me.
like $1,500." And she goes, "What? $1,500? We're running the house off this."
So how long was the power out? 15 minutes?
4.5 hours.
Oh, and that was like
4.5 hours, which
going
is
into
That's
the
a long
night.
that's a
time.
good
Yeah.
chunk of time.
I've had that happen in my house.
It's a good chunk.
It's crazy.
It really did feel kind of crazy. I went down the street to go talk to the guy that was working on everything from Idaho Power, and I said, "Hey, what's going on, dude?" He goes, "Oh, how are you doing?" I go, "Not much. I'm friends with Jason." And he goes, "I love Jason." I go, "Right on."
Yeah, another lineman.
Another
Yeah.
lineman, right? It's good old Idaho stuff. So then me and him started hanging out. He goes, "Honestly, dude, I don't know when this is coming back up." He goes, "This is
Oh.
pretty effed." And I go, "No." So
Don't like hearing that.
4.5 hours later, we did get the power on. But for those first few hours, it was candles, scan grip headlamps, which my wife very much appreciated,
Yeah.
and blankets
Yeah.
because it's
Ah.
also kind of chilly out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but we survived. We made
That's
it.
good.
We made it. It was like camping for 4.5 hours in our own house.
Now
But
you
not-
guys had your
not
scan
really.
grips. I don't have like detailing lights, but what I do have, one on each level, a night light that doubles as an emergency light supply.
Yeah, we
where
have
it's
one of
plugged into
those.
an outlet
Yeah.
on each level. I got
So here's
one.
the fun
Easy
thing.
grab.
Yeah, I used to have those.
Yeah, and then they
Great item.
stay on.
No, I had children.
Oh, they play with them?
My kids will sniff out a flashlight
Yeah.
and utilize it till it's dead, and then they'll put it back.
See,
And
I
then
solved that
I'll
problem
go
by not
pull
having
it.
kids. So.
I'll go grab it because I've done that. I put flashlights all over the house. they'd find them and use them. So then when
Okay.
we'd have power outage cars, like, why don't we have flashlights at work?
Kids used them all.
So now all my lights are rechargeable, and they're all in the
Well, no,
MOSHQ, fully charged.
Okay, well, here's
Just
the other
this way, I'm sure they're always charged.
yeah.
In my
Just
case, it makes sense.
Really quick, I will say, rechargeable headlamps and or flashlights in a power outage is BS. Because
totally, yeah.
what are you? Because my wife was asking, so what happens when these die? I go, I don't know.
Battery packs.
Charge them in the car or
Yeah,
charge
plug 'em
them
into your
figure
battery
out
packs.
something.
That's why you always have a crank light handy
No.
that you can just crank and
Dean,
get
this
the
isn't
power.
That doesn't, it doesn't last that
1800s.
No,
long.
I have one of those crank
So I
lights
have
for
inverters.
camping. Easy.
No, just
Inverters
batteries.
inverters for your vehicles
Yes, you
too.
can have batteries, but
Just-
just in case you're a dum-dum who doesn't
okay,
have a lot of batteries.
What are those
around.
flashlights called? Just those really heavy duty ones?
Yeah, the
A mag light.
mag lights, right?
It's the kind that
Every
doubles as a
double-
weapon.
3D batteries.
It's the most manly light there is.
Yeah,
Every
it's a
person
weapon.
needs a mag light, right?
They double as a billy club, dude.
I have an LED
I used to have one in all my cars back in the
and
day.
dude, I got the D's in there. I gave them the D's. They light up the whole entire house. You got to have one of those, right? I mean, you walk out as a neighbor, right, to see what's going on. They know you're serious.
Especially when you hold it like this.
Yeah.
Hey.
No.
Hey,
Hey,
so
what's going on over here?
People-
Huh?
Hey, I don't want any trouble with that mag light, man.
Yeah, no.
Yep, exactly. That's how you do it.
All right,
Moving on.
next up. Details of Me says, hello all.
Hello.
All right.
Bearded Hunter. Hey, Kirby. Yep, that front hit here too. Guess that reschedules my Bronco detail this week. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, dude.
Michael talking to Eve about the pressure washer is just not clear if it's worth the extra money. AR seems easier to service and specs are the same pretty much. What to do?
Oh, the age-old question.
Sheldon says to swap, and then he
Okay.
says swamp creature later.
Just going back and forth. All right. Then let's see. Let me make sure I got the right page. I believe I do.
Yeah.
Yep, we're on page. Whoop, too far. Page 5. Okay.
Han says, did someone say stickers?
Oh, see, he knows. He can sniff them out from
Maybe stickers. What are you
1,000
talking
miles
about?
away.
And then Super Auto saying, smash that like button.
Please do.
We really
You're watching
appreciate
right
it.
now. All you got to do is
Definitely
click that
helps.
thing. Super easy. All
And
right.
Darren, the Hairy Housewife, saying, looking forward to being there for TRCMA. Wink, wink.
Ooh, Darren.
Ambassador of the Year in the house, maybe.
Yeah.
Spencer
Very
Mation saying, any ETA on the Ultra Air Blaster. Was hoping to buy the one on display at SEMA, and have you three sign it. I'm sorry, Spen.
Oh.
When we get them, we're going to be getting them within the next week or two. Just stay tuned. We will let you know, obviously, as soon as they become available. And
we
then
will
just
sign it
put in
for you.
the comments.
Just
Have
sign
the
a
boys
note.
sign it, please, and we'll sign it
You know,
for
the
you, man.
comments
No worries.
field, we still listen
Yeah.
to those, so they'll bring it over to us if that's something you put in the request line.
Luke Berge, super chat.
buddy!
$20.
Holy cow. Luke, very kind.
Hey, y'all.
Luke, thank
Counting
you.
down the last few days till I leave on my cruise on Sunday. Hope y'all had a great
Luke's
week.
going on
recovering
a
from
Luke. Hold
SEMA.
on.
Luke's going.
Luke Berge.
Second annual Luke
On the high
Berge cruise.
seas.
He is going on a cruise.
Terror on the high
Did
seas.
he go to a cruise last
He
year?
did a cruise
He did a
last year
cruise,
too.
yeah.
with his
No
folks.
way. Where did he go?
I don't remember. All over
That's-
the Caribbean.
I
I have
dude,
no idea where you went, Luke, last year, but it was
I
he went
Probably
on a
the
cruise.
Caribbean.
I would love running into Luke Berge on a cruise ship. How
Knowing
freaking
he's there
funny
and
would
just
that
finding
be?
him.
You can just go
Right?
chill out on the pool deck.
Well, you find him in the
Well,
Congo.
no,
line.
no,
He'd be like real
No,
lively.
he's laying
on the
down some
Congo
bead
line.
maker on the side of that. On the
He's packing it in his bag.
On the side of that
He'd be
gel
cleaning
coat.
all the lifeboats.
Yeah.
Like they're just hanging there. He's like,
All
perfect. It's
super
already raised
slick.
for me. Just got it.
People be walking. He was, yeah, he's bead makered the whole floor,
Yeah,
right?
Beard
Yeah.
makered all these.
Bead
for ya.
makered all his people are slipping.
Oh god. Everything is like the shuffleboard court, just on your butt.
Let's see. We have
That's awesome, Luke. Well, I hope you have fun on the trip.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah, RIL850 says, hey guys, got my Ultra Air Blaster. It's friggin' awesome. Want the new Rupas for sure.
They are very nice.
Nice.
Thank you, man.
Very, very nice.
Oh, I like this one. Joey Belinsky. Levi deserves a bonus for spending the most time in the TRC booth. True hard worker
Look at
right there.
that.
He did spend quite a bit of time
Very
there.
nice.
Reacher-sized gentleman after my own heart. Thank
That's
you.
what he does.
Hunter
Next up.
Redmond, hey TRC, turning in from Nova Scotia, Canada.
Hey.
First time commenter, listen to the podcast for 2 months. Thank you. What is the best APC if you can have only one? And can APC replace a dedicated bug remover? Yes and yes. Yes, you can use an APC to replace a dedicated bug remover. You may not get most of the bugs off, but you'll get quite a bit. And then pairing it with a bug scrubber like our Jersey Bug Scrubber will help you a lot. Our favorite APC for me, I'm going to say the two that I like the most is Power Clean and Forced. Those are my two top. Like I'll pull those for anything because I know they work the best.
True. Graham Marshall says, "Evening, lads.
Hello, Graham.
Been a busy few weeks. Enjoying catching up with the SEMA videos. Currently paused day 3 for today's Q&A. Oh, and celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
That is a feat right there.
Very
that is
happy
pretty amazing.
Impressive.
Franco says, what's up, nerds? Thanks, Franco.
What's up, Dan?
Nerds.
And then Joey says, nobody wants a stiff tube. I don't know about that.
Nobody.
And then Demo says, afternoon, lads. I get to watch for a few minutes today. Hope all is well. It's great.
Hey, Demo.
Yeah.
It is going great. Not quite maybe deep south great or deep south great, but
What is, right?
what really is. I don't know. I've been seeing a bunch of videos on YouTube recently of people in the southern hemisphere jumping into some good old southern comfort food, right?
Okay.
In these dreary wintry times, right?
Okay.
Getting into this cold weather here. I go, man, probably the last of the boil season of the boil season probably ended a while back, but last of that, maybe jambalaya, all those other delicious southern foods. I think that
I'm not a big fan of any of those.
what
No.
Levi?
He's not a shellfish. guy.
Crawfish. It's not really even a shellfish. It's
It
a mud.
very much
It's
is
like
a
a mud
shellfish.
crab of some sort.
That's a
Still
shellfish.
carries
That's a
its helm on its
crustacean.
back. It's an exoskeleton.
That is a
I don't know if
crustacean.
it's an exoskeleton necessarily. It doesn't move into other homes. Or does
That's
it?
not how that works.
Jeff C says, so if I'm doing O&R or Absolute for the majority of my maintenance washes, what pre-wash do you recommend for the periodic reset of Diamond Body 36? Active foam, super foam, reactivation shampoo, or just forced 1-to-1? Ideally, something within the alkaline range. I think that active foam is more than enough. You don't even need to go super foam.
Yeah.
You could do a little bit of forced, not even at 1-to-1 dilution. You could probably do it at like 5-to-1 dilution. But realistically, if you were keeping up on your maintenance washes as often as you can with just O&R, Jeff, I don't really think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna. I don't really think you're gonna clog. I don't think you're gonna clog anything up.
And
Really.
realistically, you could spray a little light forced on the surface, and let's say you're just doing an O&R wash, you could just wash it twice.
If you wanted to, or you just spray a little bit of forced on the surface and then rinse it with your pre-spray O&R right afterwards, and then jump into your normal wash. I don't think you're going to be having to do as much maintenance outside of washing as you might think. Sarah Riles says, let's see, on the engine blaster, what would you recommend? I was going to use for bomb 10-to-1. Bomb.
I don't know, but Sarah, you could use some light degreaser or light APC. If you're going to go 10-to-1, that's fine, but I would recommend wearing a mask or a respirator. That way you
Safety
don't get
first.
sick. Yeah.
The Details in Me says, are there any chemicals that shouldn't go into the Ultra Air Blaster Plus or in the Ultra Air Engine Blaster?
Sure.
Well, if you're going to use anything other than water, please use a respirator. That's the biggest thing. We don't want you breathing in anything that you're blasting.
We wouldn't recommend using like acids. I mean, like an actual acid in there. That would not be good.
No.
But I mean, any type of interior cleaner, any type of all-purpose cleaner, any type of pH balance cleaner, any type of water-based dressing.
You're pretty good.
A lot of those are going to be okay, and it's nothing like you shouldn't absolutely not do. But the general idea is that if you are mixing up a dressing of some sort, you want to make sure that the product is still relatively thin in the canister. You don't want it to be too thick, as it's going to have to get sucked up to that tube, and you don't want any clogs. And then anything that's going to be maybe more like soap-based or detergent-based or whatever it may be, just make sure it's diluted enough to still be effective in what you're wanting to do, but don't do anything straight. Like I would never put straight APC in that gun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of guys get really sick.
You get super sick, and then also it's just not
their lungs
it's just
burn.
not necessary.
And things
That's why
on
we
a,
say please use a respirator.
yes, on a case by case basis. I mean, the reason for the respirator really is because we're assuming most of the people asking this are using this stuff semi regularly, and that's definitely something you're going to run into. But even if you do it just once, you don't want to have that be the one time it screws you up. Say there's a crosswind all of a sudden coming into the shop through an open door or whatever, and it blows it back towards you. It's just not stuff you want to contend with.
Yeah.
If an
Yeah.
acid goes up your nose, gets on your
it
skin.
happens, dude. I mean, if you get stuck in a weird
You can be as careful as can be, and it
crosswind,
could still happen.
Yeah.
and you can get. I've had it with just even spraying chemicals where I've been outside and I've been using maybe a very strong APC or very strong wheel cleaner, and the wind has caught it.
It changes direction,
and it's gone up past my glasses and into my eyes, and I go, "Oh crap!" And everybody
probably
looks over
not
at me
good.
and they go, "Are you okay?" And I go, "I'm gonna go flush my eyes out with water because I don't know what just got
Or
in."
your
it's
mouth
burned,
is open at exactly the wrong moment.
Bad news. Bad news.
Yeah. The Hairy Horsewife says, Franco, giving a little, hands up.
What's up?
And then Dino says, "What's up, boys and
Hey.
girls? How are you?" I think we're doing.
Hey, Dino, how are
pretty
you,
well.
man?
wonderful.
Hope he is doing good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we hope you're doing good, dude. Superado says, "I have the Charbroil, the Big Easy oilless turkey fryer, and it makes amazing fried turkey."
Key thing here,
Delicious.
oilless.
Yeah.
delicious.
Well, I mean, who else is going to be basting their turkey with the Ultra Engine Blaster?
There's going to be some people. I don't doubt it.
What are you going to do?
I'm not going to put a base on. I'm just going to put some water in it and use the oil that comes. That's already in the tank.
I mean, if you're putting chemicals that
An
are
airline.
safe in and on your
The
food,
oil that is leaked from the motor
if it's
housing.
safe in and on your food and it's going through it, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
Luke saying, "I'm absolutely loving the TRC Ultra Air Blaster and Spray Applicator." Nice, Luke.
Luke, we knew that you would be a pretty big fan. Really quick, on just a quick side tangent here, actually work related, believe it or not. And speaking of the Ultra Air Blaster, since this has been a popular topic, one thing we want to note that we probably need to cover in maybe a future Q&A, and just general information, is that if this is your first time picking up the Ultra Air Blaster and you go to use it, right, and let's just say you start spraying something and you are seeing anything that resembles a liquid or anything maybe rust-colored coming out of it, we highly recommend getting an inline filter for your air compressor if it is not, especially if it's a used air compressor. What we've seen
Or a water oil separator.
water oil separator. We've seen a couple instances come back to customer service where people have said that they were using Ultra Air Blaster and they were seeing like kind of rust particulates and a little bit of moisture coming out of the gun, and they go, "Well, what's going on? Right? Is my gun faulty?"
It's not the
And we
gun.
say, "What are you using?" "Well, I'm using my air compressor I've had for 10 years. I've never had an issue with it."
Have you ever drained the tank?
Well, have you ever drained the tank? And then what did you do with that air compressor for 10 years? Well, I pumped up tires, right?
Bike tires.
Pumped up bike tires. I did random things. I had pneumatic other tools
Did
in
you
it.
release the pressure when you were done each time?
Well, and then we go, did you ever spray actual air out of it? Well, no, I never did that. Okay, well, chances are over the years you've built up moisture.
Yep.
You've built up some
Well,
rust
when you compress
particulates.
the
air,
pressure,
you actually create moisture
you
in
Create
your
moisture,
tank.
right? And so what happens is that moisture sits in the tank, and you go to use the gun or use the blaster,
insides
use
of the
whatever it
tanks
is,
are metal.
and you are getting some of that passing through the air, going through the gun, and then now out on your surface. So an inline filter, they're super cheap, $10, right? It goes a male to female disconnect right there on your compressor. It'll go through, and it will prevent anything from coming out through the gun itself. And then also drain your tanks every once in a while. If you haven't drained your tank, most air compressor tanks are going to have a valve on them to where you can drain the back, and if there is any moisture built
And if
up,
they don't, there's usually a spot to put a valve.
yeah,
It's your
So
ounce of prevention.
that's where you go down to like your Ace Hardware, your Home Depot, or Lowe's,
Yeah.
and you can buy a ball valve that
Yep.
you can plumb in and release that to drain those tanks.
So this is just for people who are. This hasn't
They're
been
new.
this hasn't been a common situation, but people that are new that don't know how this kind of stuff
Like
works.
a hobbyist is more likely to run into this
Yeah.
than somebody
It's
who's
just
working in a shop
an
all the time.
Inline
and
filter.
understands this
You
stuff.
definitely want an inline filter if you're ever seeing any issue like that, and that'll solve the problem 100%. Now, if let's just say the tool itself, let's just say maybe the ball bearings get some moisture in them, and it's built up a little rust as well. you can essentially, if you would like to disassemble it, you can spray a little bit of a degreaser in there and then run the tool maybe out on the grass or outside somewhere to try to break some of that up. But yeah, just don't freak out if that does happen to you and you're using a compressor that's never been cleaned or isn't running a filter.
And by extension, if you see somebody else online mentioning this stuff, like, oh, I ran into this thing, feel free to share this information with them in hopes that it guides them, because we won't be able to see every time
100%.
somebody mentions it. But if you guys who hear this stuff, make sure to pass it along when you see a relevant conversation. Please do.
What's funny is that I didn't even know I should have been running an inline filter back in the day, because when I bought my Husky unit, right, I saw the filter and I was like, do I need that? I don't know. Maybe I need it, right? I don't even
you're
know.
not painting.
And I don't even know. I think I even called you. I said, do I need this? I think
I
you said no. But then me just being crazy, I'm like, well, I want the purest of air coming through my...
You want to be able to drink it.
I want to be able to drink this air. So I grabbed that filter, and I've had it on there for all these years. And my favorite thing about it, it's just a little Husky filter, is that it has a nozzle at the bottom, so I can actually drain my air out of my tank through that nozzle at the bottom, and all the air will come out from the tank through the outlet, out through the filter, and then bam, out through the bottom.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of it, so that's why I have it. Luke Berge says, any update on the replacement IK sprayer heads? They may be coming soon. We know that this next container coming from IK has a lot of different goodies in it.
Yep. Han says he's got plenty of spares for you, Luke. And then Franco says, fresh up Noche. That would be a name. Kirby saying, howdy, hand pink waving to Umberto. Luke says, I'm going to have a fight with Han soon. Then Joey says, a +1 for the Active 2.0. Thank you, Joey. And Han saying, I have spare spray heads under lock and key, but if you let go of your gauntlet blanket or blue bead maker, it might open up the storage. When did Luke get a gauntlet blanket? I think he meant an eagle blanket.
Yeah.
Luke has an eagle blanket.
Yeah, there is no such thing as a
confirmed
gauntlet blanket outside of just the big gauntlet.
Luke does have his confirmed eagle blanket.
Real 850 says the Krenzel 1122, you could buy it once and it can be serviced. That is correct.
Nice. And let me make sure I get the right page here. So we're on 5, go to 4. There we go.
Super Auto. Knocking on wood. Like Levi's Son Joe, my $100 Ryobi pressure washer from Home Depot has never let me down.
If it works.
There you go, man.
And it ain't broke.
Yeah. Franco saying Umberto. Rick saying, besides Rupes, what was the most interesting new products? For me, one was Stoner's iron remover.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, that one definitely caught
that's
our
an impressive
attention.
one.
I was very impressed by that.
We actually sniffed it. It did not smell anything like what you expected it to.
Yeah, honestly,
it had a
didn't smell
smell,
like much.
but it was not what you would normally associate with that.
Yeah.
Well, and of course, when you say, well, it doesn't smell, it probably doesn't work, right? And then I started seeing how it was
They
working.
ran a demo.
And I go,
They had particles. They were actually spraying iron particles onto the surface and then giving it a little time and then going through and doing the whole thing.
Wow.
It does, in fact, work. It was pretty cool to see.
Turns orange instead of purple.
Impressive.
Nice. Sarah says F-bomb.
F-bomb. Okay.
Oh, F-bomb.
Okay, F-bomb. Yeah.
10 to 1?
Yeah, probably 10 to 1. Make sure you're using a mask.
Yep.
Joey saying use code Levi10 for any of your pressure washer needs. Everybody's saying hello.
Everybody's saying hello again.
And then Luke says, ain't no gauntlet, bro. It's better. Eagle blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And then Super Auto saying hello. Luke says, I ended up giving away most of my mystery box items.
Oh, Luke.
Luke,
you're so kind.
He's a gentleman.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, he
Gentleman and a
is.
scholar.
Well, because what's going on is people are walking into AutoZone and they say, hey, I'm going to buy this McGuire's spray wax. And Luke goes, get that out of here. He goes, I got one.
Slip something from under the counter.
I got one better for you, and it's free, right? And they're like, oh my god, this is amazing,
like,
right? And Luke's managers are like, hey, we're losing a lot of money here because you're
just giving away product.
You're giving away the first
product.
one for free. Get them hooked.
And he goes, well, I'm paying for it, right?
Yeah, it's
He goes,
coming
I know
from
we're
money I'm making from you
making
guys.
these sales right now.
Those aren't even products we sell, Luke. I know.
Sometimes education is more important than making money.
And he does
100%.
educate. We've seen Luke in action. He can.
And
Let's
Umberto's going,
Hey.
shout out to Colin at Ridiculous Details,
Oh, nice.
former listener of the program who had a baby boy this morning.
Congratulations.
Ridiculous. It's awesome.
Amazing.
Kevin Miser, what's your guys' preferred rinseless nowadays? I've been using O&R since I started doing rinseless, but always interested in alternatives. O&R and Absolute, I use them interchangeably.
Yep.
Literally, I may mix up a bucket of Absolute, The next month, I mix up a bucket of O&R.
Each one is unique in its own way,
Really
but they
is,
both
man.
get the job done. If your
usually-
goal is a clean car, they can both do
Usually
it.
whatever's closest to me at that time, I just throw into the...
Also, it depends on what smell you're looking for that day. Kind of.
I will admit, right, we are coming into winter time where we've always preached the tropical vibes of Absolute as being something that
Quite nice.
can be uplifting and maybe get you out of that darkness and cold depression that
Mixed
many of
with
us get
warm
into.
water.
garage.
Yep.
Yep. Get a couple heaters
Warm
going.
garage. Warm.
Water
Water
in
in
your
the
bucket.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a lifestyle, I should say.
Maybe put on a little reggae.
Reggae, if you want to do that,
just wanna
mix
enjoy
yourself
it.
up an actual pina colada, right?
Yeah.
And then throw on a little sun hat, little like I don't know,
Maybe
like
a Hawaiian shirt or something.
Hawaiian shirt
Yeah,
and
some
flip flops. And then your significant other may come out and say, "What the heck are you doing?"
Yeah. And you got
you're
the
just
margarita
and you're just
machine
like,
going.
welcome to the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
It's a little
It's like,
slice
but
of
why are you
paradise,
washing your
all right?
cars?
Yeah, we're enjoying this right now. And they're like, why do you have the lawn chair out here? Is that sand from the beach?
But then she gets a whiff from the bucket and goes, "Oh, okay."
She or
He or
he.
she, yeah.
She or he.
Yeah.
Hans Closen says, let's see. Luke Berge is blowing his fuse. I think I need to spray him down with my spare IK spray heads.
That's awesome. Simon Birch saying howdy,
Oh, we
Howdy.
got the birch in the house.
says Hans. And then Super Auto says, did I hear someone recently mention a new Ultra brush of some sort coming out?
Where did that get
Ken, where
mentioned?
did you hear that?
Who's saying that? Wow. Might have been somebody at the show saw something they weren't supposed to.
Only friends that came to the booth got to see
only friends at the show.
that item.
Saw something.
Anyway,
Stay
moving
tuned.
on.
Yeah.
Flak
Keep it
Pyro.
cryptic.
So which one of you is going to link up 4 Sunjos and send a video of it to Matt? Probably me.
It's got to be him.
Probably me.
That'd be good.
I would be funny to do just 3, or we do this.
So wow.
2, we get my beat up
So
Sunjo,
noisy,
a
yeah.
new Sunjo, and then I just buy a Karcher Cube for fun, and we combine all 3
So
together.
you've heard of dual Krenzlas, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of quad Sunjos?
We're doing the Quad Joe
But
setup
like what
today.
it needs to be is like
Quad
not
cube.
even like a wall-mounted version. It's
They're
like
just
we've like
sitting on the ground. I do them next, like I have my air compressors. 3 air compressors on the ground.
Literally just all like
Just hooked together with hoses.
I was gonna say, put it all on your back and call yourself Quad Joe Moto.
Well, it's like when if Matt comes up because Matt may be planning on coming up to see us, right?
Take him around to
He's
show
like,
the
hey,
quads
ready
world
for the
out?
dual
Come
Krenzla? We say, you ready for the quad Sunjo? And we just show him this jumbled mess of
Quad Joe Moto.
cords.
Slipping them all on.
He goes, what is this? What is this crap? You know, hey, this is power right here,
And
baby.
it's an old hose, like an old worn hose that we're using.
I mean, at least they're electric
that's the
that
MTM
way.
gun on there.
If you go the full like single cylinder route with like the old Subaru one like we had, and you strap those to your back, you look like one of the guys who was trying to compete with the Wright brothers back in the late
you'd have to run
1800s,
4
ready
inlet.
to jump off
You'd
a
have to
cliff with
run
some paper
a
wings.
4-way split on the
And just a
hose
motor strapped to your
to
back.
supply water to all 4,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to get another 4-way out to one to run the pressure washer gun itself.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be possible, but that'd be crazy though.
That would be pretty rad.
Oh man. Okay, Simon with the classic asking for #RedFTW, please.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes. Something about
Jamie the cleaner says he's buffering.
Hey, this guy. He's back.
And then
here.
Super Auto with a shout out to Jamie the cleaner for his clean maker concoction, getting a shout out from Pan the organizer
yeah.
in his latest vid. And then Jamie saying elbow cough.
Nice.
And then Joey says Jamie gets paid $1 every time Pan says clean maker. That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be
Good deal.
nice?
Very lucrative.
Seems like a
Yeah.
good deal.
Kirby Thompson saying, Levi, I'm with you on the Sunjo. Using the same model SPX 430, but the warranty expired in July. Next pressure washer is either going to be an active or the Ego cordless. Nice.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. Jamie says, I now have $3. Hashtag you got this.
That would be a good prank for April Fools, having a hoseless pressure washer.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Bluetooth hose.
Super Auto laughing at both of you. And then Fog 1014. Hey guys. Was wondering what the shelf life is of Diamond Body. Got it in last year's mystery box, but forgot about it in my closet. P.S. Love this year's box I got. Oh, it's fine. If it's just been sitting in a closet, unopened, you're good.
Yeah, agreed.
Once it's open, that's when the timer really starts.
My guy Kirby says, the Beard Hunter, howdy. Now let's Need to talk about the KCX PW someday. All right. And then Rick Smith here, last little thing, says, I'm not giving up until we see black and purple rip and rag for that cleaner detail.
Nice.
By the way, guys, keep throwing colors out there for the rip and rag. If we see some consistency in the choice of colors that people are looking for, that might help.
So far, there's been no consistency.
No, it's literally been the entire color spectrum.
Colors of the rainbow.
But we
love the energy.
Go ahead.
We are going to go to a quick and brief break here. This is a good stopping point. So bring your questions here for the second half. And here are some messages from not only ourselves, but some of our friends in the industry. So we will see you in a few minutes.
Go ahead, get dirty. P&S Off-Road.
In every artist, there's a masterpiece waiting to be unleashed. It starts with inspiration, an inner desire for greatness, and a pursuit of the ultimate finish. For artists in the world of reflections, precision and perfection are required at every step. It's work that demands tools sculpted by legacy, sharpened by innovation. For over 37 years, Buff and Shine has been more than a brand. It's a promise to help bring out perfection in every detail. Because the best tools don't just do the job. They become an extension of the artist and a safeguard for their craft.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half, the fun half, Q&A Thursday right here on the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. As you know, I'm your host, Dane Hennon. To my right, Levi Gates,
Oh,
and
hey, Dane. How's
to
it
my
going?
left, Anthony Fisher.
Thanks for having me, Dane. Glad to be here.
We're all here, and we're all having a good time.
The second half Q&A Thursday, the fun half.
Yes.
But I wanted to address something real quick.
Absolutely.
Well, please.
We heard
Right
from
ahead.
customer service, a lot of folks going, hey, been using the Ultra Air Blasters, the Ultra Air Blaster Plus, anything that rotates with the Venturi effect that makes it
Yeah.
such a great tool. Now, things we've done, they're mostly all sealed internal components. So you shouldn't have a lot of issues.
No.
However, everything rotates inside. And one of the things that most people said, we've always said, hey, just take it when you need to clean it, dunk it in a bucket or wipe it out with a towel,
Okay.
right? Pull the trigger in a bucket of O&R, should rinse out clean, you'll be fine,
Yeah.
keep using it.
Okay.
Or take a towel, stick it in there, and wipe out all the dirt and excess and stuff, or
Sure.
take the trumpet off, clean it.
I'm a big fan of that. I like sticking a wet towel in.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to have to lubricate it. It's a moving part.
It's
Okay.
true, yeah.
So what I recommend for folks, and this is me being a bicycle mechanic.
Okay.
Pure silicone.
No.
White lithium grease.
Nope, don't do that.
What about brake grease?
Don't do that
Lithium
either.
brake grease. Red
Nope,
high
don't
temp
want that.
brake grease.
Don't want any of those things.
Okay.
A dry lubricant.
Oh,
Anthony, you use a dry lubricant for your motorcycle chains, don't you?
No, like a graphite spray or
actually,
something?
Kind of.
technically, I use it's a more of like a spray wax, chain wax type of thing,
Chain
right?
wax, but it is a dry lubricant.
I do love myself a good dry lube, and I have quite a bit of it. It's
Yeah.
a dry lube. There's dry lube that has like Teflon in it. There's also other dry lube that has what's it called, PTFE,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that. I can't
Yeah.
remember what the heck it's.
So my favorite is
acronym
Tri-Flow. You can pick them up usually at like Walmart or
Okay.
Home Depot or Lowe's. You can buy them on Amazon.
Okay.
You can get little bottles this big
Okay.
with a long tube
Yeah.
that attaches to it. You just keep them. Great for your bike chains on your electric bike stain.
Yeah.
Because you can drop a couple. You only need a couple drops.
Keeps it smooth.
Put a couple drops on the cassette, things like that. Keep it running right.
Okay.
Maybe on
Yeah.
on the brake.
I've not
the
had to do that
slides
yet,
for the
but
brakes.
if I do,
you can do that.
that's the first place I'm looking.
Great little product, but it also works really, really well because it's waterproof,
Oh wow,
and you can put it on those rotating assemblies
on the rings, yeah.
on the air blast. You take the cone off, and anywhere where it moves, anywhere where it spins, add just a couple drops.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. So
Keep that thing
for those
lubricated.
that way it's spinning.
smooth.
It's always constantly moving because it is a straight through design, and it goes back to what we were talking about with the rust.
Yeah.
And the people going, oh my gosh, I'm spraying rusty water out of my thing. Something's broken
It's
inside.
not the tool doing
It's
it.
not the tool, it's your air compressor. So for those of you that are calling and going, hey, I'm having issues with it rotating, it seems to have stopped rotating. Okay, well that's also why on the Ultra Air Blaster Plus there's that little dial on the bottom. Increase the amount of air pressure coming into the gun.
Yeah.
Increase the air pressure on your air compressor. You only need 90 to run it. We recommend you crank that PSI up a little bit, maybe 100, maybe 110.
Break it free, clean
You
it
can
out.
run it, clean it up, make sure it's running right, add a little lube so that way it stays moving properly.
Bring
You're
it
gonna,
then bring it back down to that 90, and you should be good to go.
and you got to think
Okay.
that sucker spins
Yeah.
fast, And if you're using it for 20, 30 minutes, how many rotations has that made?
Thousands.
Millions.
Millions.
Maybe.
Lots and
I don't
lots
know
of
about
Probably not millions, but hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, possibly.
So keep it lubed up.
Good info.
Keep it running good. So Tri-Lube or Tri-Flow
Yeah.
is the name of the company, and it's a dry lubricant. A couple little drops. You can get a small bottle. You can get a big bottle. You can find it on Amazon. It's a great product to be able to add and work on anything, and you can use it in your house. You can use it. You know what I used to use it for?
What's that?
The door handles in my car. Like, you know, when you get the
Really?
squeaky
Yeah,
door,
yeah.
a couple drops in there because it's
Yeah.
dry and it doesn't make a mess. I always
Right.
hated the guys that were like, I got it. It's this door stuff.
WD-40, all the things.
Or they hand you like the big heavy one that squirts and you see the cars have the big white gunky stuff in the
the white lithium
what-
yeah,
grease.
I don't I hate that. So I would always use that stuff. I put little
It, like,
drops in there.
foams up and-
Keeps my stuff working
Yeah, I
fine,
get
moving
you.
good, keeps them quiet.
Yeah.
I'd also use them in my doors in my house.
Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense.
a
Now,
good
I do have a comment here from Master
Great
of the
little
Shine
product.
Detailing saying
Ulysses.
PTFE is Teflon, I believe.
There you go.
Oh, then
So,
PTFE.
there you
Okay,
go.
then
Yeah,
I guess
Teflon.
that makes sense.
You're right.
Now, really quick here, before we jump into more
Yes.
questions, I got pads, right?
Yeah, they look like normal, pal. Wait a second, something's different on the back of them.
These right
Edge
here
guards.
are the Buff and Shine Edge Guard pads, a game-changing polishing tool that you'll wonder why didn't exist sooner. It's
Fun fact, I was buffing an old Corolla.
where are you really?
Could have used an edge guard.
Yeah.
Banged up on the spoiler a couple
no.
times.
Oh, it's fun, right? It's
Yeah.
always fun.
So I was about to say, it's a lot more than just simply guiding your pad onto the tool. It has a lot of other benefits.
That's some
So
protection
let me
capabilities.
break this down for you. So Buff and Shine has been doing a lot of fantastic things in the industry lately. Their Edge Guard was actually released technically last year, but it wasn't packaged the way it's going to be packaged until this year. And then also there's been the release of the 3-inch pad as well. So for a while there, they only had the 5 and 6, and they had to actually make a new machine just to be able to produce the 3-inch pad,
Yeah,
right, with
super
the
cool.
Edge Guard. So Rich over there, Rich, right?
Yep,
Rich at Buff and Shine. Sorry, Rich. I know your name. I just a little brain fog. Had literally made every machine that is about making the Edge Guard. I mean, he
They
literally
have to be
handmade.
invented.
You had to invent the machine to be able to make
Yeah.
these, which is just mind blowing. But he did that. The Edge Guards were released or have been kind of talked about here for quite some time, and they are available in most of the popular foam. Most of the popular foam. How do I say it? Your stronger cutting pads and more of your polishing pads.
It's
So
available in all the normal flavors you expect
yeah.
for foam.
So it's not available for anything like microfiber or wool at this time,
But foam,
anything
yes.
along the foam line, from heavier cutting to polishing, it's going to be available. So what's really cool is that here on the back of the Edge Guard pad, you have your hook and loop backing, which is pretty standard here, but the actual hook and loop backing on this has more of a rigid feel, right? So when you actually
Right.
put your finger and press against there is an additional backing underneath that hook and loop, right, which actually provides more overall rigidity to the pad.
It's not like the backing on other pads.
And then
Yeah.
your outer loop here, your outer circular, I guess, your
The
edge,
ring?
your ring, right? This is providing more stiffness as well,
It's
more rigidity.
reinforced.
But what's amazing is you literally just put that right onto your backing plate and it lines up every time.
Perfectly.
There's no more of the, sticking on and off.
How many times have you seen a guy go,
trying to
"Nah."
line up the hole? I mean, 98% of the time, this is going to go sink right into where you want it to go, which is pretty amazing. And then, of course,
I love them.
it's going to protect that backing plate from damaging anything.
So
So,
they made a version similar to this about a decade ago, but for the
Yeah.
big rotary
no,
7-inch,
and I remember
8-inch
that. I
rotary
remember
pads.
that. Yeah.
And they added a little seat unit that they would throw in there. And holy crap, that sucker
it's like a guy.
changed the game for me as a rotary runner over a decade ago to where I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was actually like, closer
Well,
to
and
20 years ago, but it was
just
amazing.
in-
So yeah, I'm surprised that it took this long to get to our DA
Well, the
setup.
machines had to be made.
But they had to make the machine. That was the crazy thing. Who would have thought?
Justin talked about how delamination is effectively a thing of the past with these, where you can
Correct.
take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on. tons of times the way you would with any other pad. But eventually with those other pads, nice as they may be,
it happens to me
that
all the time.
delamination eventually it just starts to separate. And once that happens,
and
it's hard to put that
especially when
genie back in the bottle.
So here's the thing: most of
These
us don't
don't do
realize delamination happens when the foam is hot.
Oh
And
yeah,
the tool
the
is
heat
hot.
especially.
And so what happens
causes
is you're running it, and this part gets really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you finish, and you're like, oh man, I know this pad's hot. Maybe you got a quarter of the car, half the car done, and you go, well, I better swap this pad for the other one. And the moment you pull, while it's still hot, you haven't let that pad cool, and all it could be is running it for a little bit to cool it off, cycle it, or hit it with some compressed air to cool down the backing plate, or using your pad washer and clean that pad, cool it down, blow it out, then peel it off. And a lot of people don't, and I'm guilty of this. I just pull the pad and go to the net and grab the next one because I don't like slowing down.
Right.
And when that happens, I shred a pad in half, and I go,
Well,
dang
I mean,
so
when you're looking at a pad, though, when you're talking about the backing, right, the backing of a pad, when you're having that, what's it called? Like my brain just froze up again. When you're having the backing lift off the pad, right?
Yeah.
Delamination.
Delamination is not happening on the inside of the pad; it's happening on the outside of the pad. What's cool about this right here is that that's been completely eliminated because this ring is actually holding.
It's the whole part of it.
It's the whole part of this whole thing, and so where that heat's building up, it's no longer going to build up that same way, causing a delamination
It's like
issue.
a shallow bowl, like a cup.
Yeah.
It's
So
very interesting.
it's pretty cool. And the other thing too is if I would have had this when I was polishing out that car and I nicked the exhaust,
It wouldn't have happened with
which
that.
we nicked a titanium exhaust with the backing plate, which anything was possible. This would have saved me from that.
It would.
It would have been a small little plastic scratch, not a scratch going through the metal from the backing plate.
One other big thing, because we only have the one size here, I learned at SEMA that they now have a 3-inch also.
That's what I
which
said.
is excellent because, as somebody who's a fan of the Pixie 80 who likes to do Papa Chrome stuff, little polisher like that, I like the little pad.
I call
It's
it risky
nice.
polishing, right?
Yeah.
When you're putting a 3-inch or even a 5-inch backing plate in somewhere where you shouldn't be, right? And you go, I shouldn't be doing this. This is sketchy, right?
Yeah, but that's when I get excited.
I would benefit so
I know,
much
I know,
from
I know,
that.
I know.
That's
Levi.
what I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's see if we can do this.
See if I can
It's like a
fit this-
challenge.
See if I can
I
fit
sure
this
hope I
thing in
don't.
here, right? At a speed of 5.
Yep.
Right? Keep that rotating.
Maybe I'm going to go to a 6 just for fun.
Meanwhile,
Just to
you're
see.
operating your kamikaze backing plate.
Well,
You're just-
that's the kind of guy I am. I
You
like
are
the
living
solid
life on
billet
the
aluminum
bleeding
backing
edge.
plate.
When you don't want to just nick a door handle. You want to take.
He wants to
the
take
thing
the
off.
whole damn thing
It'll
off.
destroy it.
You want to just take that whole mirror off, take the whole door handle off.
like a
Ricardo
Sawzall.
B, what's up, TRC crew? Will you guys be selling the TR1 360 sprayer head separately so we can install on a non-360 versions of the TR1
I
bottles?
believe so. Yes.
Hopefully, yes. Dabbler says, fellas, sorry I'm late. Dude, welcome.
here.
As you
That's
can
what
see, the
matters.
boys are wearing your gifts
Yes.
from
by the way, we
SEMA.
need to
I
show
wore
the
mine
back.
on Tuesday.
Got the cool,
What does yours say, Dane?
It says the International Detailers Union, Mors ad Ludum, and then it says founding member, Local 472, Great Dane Films.
Oh my gosh, you're a founding
yeah.
member.
Yeah,
That's
wow,
amazing.
crazy. Dabbler helped me found it.
Wow.
All right.
I love
And then
it.
yours. You've got some crazy stuff going
This
on
is
on
one of my
yours.
favorite YouTubers.
Yeah, you got, this is super cool. It says All Day Anthony. It's got
Nice.
a Koenig wheel on it.
Wow, look at that. It is a Koenig wheel.
It says
Yeah.
some other words that I don't know.
It's you just
OEM
hope
Plus. Oh, it says
something
OEM
cool.
Plus.
It says OEM
Oh,
Plus.
OEM Plus.
okay.
I just
He
realized.
was
that.
really thinking.
It's just it's a local YouTuber. I'm a huge fan of
Oh,
him.
mine
really?
was a Merchants of Shine shirt translated into Masters of Shine headquarters,
Oh, that's
Boise,
awesome.
Idaho.
That's very cool.
Established in 2018. And I said, "You really want to go with the 2018?" He goes, "Well, that's when you established the new HQ." And I
Right.
said, fair
He's
point.
thinking. He put
This is
thought
for the
into all
HQ,
these
not the
details.
Master of Shine name, but the actual state-of-the-art facility
Yes.
that I run, the
Yeah.
Master of Shine headquarters.
Like
So-
no other.
I do love it. Next up here we have
Thank
Joey
you, brother.
Blinsky that says, "What's up, dude?" And then
Hey, hey.
Subarado saying, Heard 5 Mark Mazzell became 2 Fireball Mazzell at SEMA last week. How are you getting your information? He knows too much.
Yeah.
Looks like it made for a great sign spinner, dude.
He's talking to people behind the scenes. I clearly see.
Eve says, for the question about the Ultra Air engine blaster, it's going to be used on my Mustang GT engine, 2019 and 2014. Lots of plastic on there, mixed with anti-rust grease. Okay. That's totally fine. Then you should be just fine with the P21 soap. I recommend you just do their normal dilution of soap and water in there. Yeah. Just know you're gonna have to mix up a couple times. So one thing you could do is mix it up into a bucket, into a wash bucket, and then just fill your bottle through there, your reservoir in that. That way you have a lot of product. You can just dunk it. That way you're not slowly mixing and hoping it'll mix. If you can mix a bigger one.
Ultimately, the goal behind the engine blaster is to introduce chemical down there with a little bit of pressure without going the full pressure washer.
Well, and it does the Venturi as well, so it does do a little bit of good cleaning and gets in there tight.
Spiral cutting.
Peter Williams saying thank you for the update.
You got
You're
it.
welcome, man. Juliana says, I see you've got Mold and Hold on the site, but it's out of stock. Any idea when that'll be back? Thank you. Mold and Hold is out of stock pretty much everywhere in the world right now. It is we're hoping to get it in
product.
Huh?
The hair product?
No, it's the wrap product.
Oh,
It's part of our new TWI line.
I do think those are cool.
It's a really great product. It's sold out fast. The problem is that we're waiting on the company to get the rest of the get a restock of that so we can receive it. We literally were just talking about it. I believe we have some in the store here on site.
Oh, right.
But at MVP they have it, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's his stock, though.
And that's his stock that he bought a month ago or whatever. So
somebody could call his store and ask if he might ship it to him.
Yeah, but that's I'll tell you, he doesn't have
custom
that,
request.
He doesn't have that many rolls of it, but that's one of the things is it's out of stock everywhere. As soon as we get it, we will let everyone know. So,
Alkaline Trio says, dropped off my car to get a fluid film treatment, and they washed it without asking. Now there's scratches all over the paint. Stop it.
No.
Stop
Dan.
it. Stop it, Dan. Please. My
car's
heart.
coated in DV36. What should I do to address the scratches?
Are we talking micromarring? You're talking actual scratches?
So,
fluid film treatment. What's a?
How deep we talking?
Is that an underside treatment?
it might. I don't know what it is. It's probably an Alaska thing.
Yeah. I mean, he is in Alaska, so they deal with stuff that we don't deal with down
They washed
Yeah.
it without asking. That's oh my gosh! Isn't
That's
that the
just
worst?
rude.
Frustrating.
Isn't that the worst when you drop off your car, right? And you'll tell them don't wash
they're like,
the
"Oh,
car."
we're doing
You
it
think
for
there's
you.
an understanding, and you go to pick up your car and you look at it and you go, "This is clean. Like this
Yeah.
this didn't look like this." And they go, "Hey, yeah, don't worry, we washed it for you." And they say it like they did something nice for
I
you.
did you a favor.
And I'm over here like, oh, what have you done?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
you've just
committed a crime
you've killed somebody,
on this
right? Like, this
car.
is not good. And
We're talking about your
people will
MX-5,
never really
right?
understand. But I'm assuming it's
Your
his-
newer Miata
his
that you have.
Miata.
Yeah, it's,
So
that
Dan,
sucks.
Uno Advanced,
You're in advance, yep.
and this black foam pad.
Yeah.
Perfect
white,
combo. Or the white.
White would be fine.
Polish it with Uno Advanced. Uno Advanced is really great at protecting coatings. Using a soft foam pad helps protect that because it doesn't remove the coating. And then because it's Uno Advanced, it has a ceramic in it. So it goes back in and helps
It will replace,
bind and
it will
cross-link.
replace anything that it removed.
Yeah. So
Luke Berge says, I really wish I had the chargers for the scan grip headlamps. I have 3 headlamps and lost all the chargers.
Luke, I cleaned my garage this past weekend. I didn't do a deep clean, but a good enough clean to get it felt more organized and looked like I had cleaned it, which was nice. I found 3 charging cables for
good.
scan grip headlamps. I may have to send you a little Christmas present.
No, you might just have to bring them back here because we don't have any.
No, we have 2. They're over here.
Do we have
They're-
them at the rack?
They're
Okay.
plugged.
Seem
No,
to
I mean my
disappear.
the chargers we have for our studio are in on my
okay,
desk,
good.
and there's
Okay,
2
okay.
lights plugged in.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, 'cause
So
couldn't
we
find
have
ours.
them.
The ones
Yeah.
here do tend to walk away.
We had to use them for the Ghost Dusters film.
Luke, you can also buy a universal circle plug adapter off of Amazon.
Yeah, that too.
like a DC adapter.
Yeah, it's like a DC adapter. It'll come with all sorts of different
DC
different sizes, and so you can just find one for that. I actually did that because I lost mine a while back, and I think I paid $8 on Amazon, and now I have a charger for multiple things.
Yeah, the Amazon's got a multi-use one. It's just different sizes.
Well, Carly and I have been using those lights on our evening walks.
Do you remember
So
all the
I always try to keep them charged.
Do you remember all those DC plugs, right? That we'd have back in the day, right?
100 of them.
But
I still have them.
You'd have
Still
100
finding
because you
them.
never want to get rid of them because I don't know what this one's for, right? But there's like 20 different of the circle sizes.
Yeah,
and
you don't know which one it
you'd
is.
go, I think I know where that charger is, and it was never the right size that you ever needed.
I remember going to Hastings one year, and they had a USB to a brick
Yeah.
that you could plug in the wall with another like adaptable unit, and then all those different heads.
Yeah.
And so you could pick and choose
that's
what you were going to
great.
plug it into.
Yeah.
And so you could just, it was like fully universal and then a bunch of different attachments that you could charge. I don't know if it ever charged anything, if it even worked.
Yeah.
But I remember going like, this is the greatest thing. I'm going to buy that because it was on clearance for like $5.
You'll recall at SEMA 2018 when we had the gold car in the booth that I had to hunt down for that little stream box we had that was running to both TVs. I had to come up with an excuse to get us to go to Fry's Electronics because I wanted you to experience Fry's with me. And that's when I discovered, because I hadn't been to Fry's in quite a few years, frankly, that things had taken a turn for the worse.
Tim literally found the office chairs.
I found that DC adapter I was looking for, and I guarantee you they're one of the very few places I could have found that.
I remember he was just sitting in the chair,
man.
pulling the lever and making it flat.
He was just going full.
The whole time. I'd just look over and I'd see him like just
scorpion.
I do own I owe Dane a great deal, as I had never been to a Fry's Electronics before, and if it wasn't for that trip, right?
I loved that
I may
place.
have never ever
you never
gone.
would have gotten to go.
And so I love that trip when me and Dane walk in, because Dane's building up this whole.
I was so excited.
I remember he was like, "You guys don't understand. This is the best store on the entire planet."
He's like, Anthony, this is the electronics mecca, right?
Before Amazon, the website,
and greatest,
there was Fry's Electronics, the physical brick and mortar.
He's like, they're all themed different ways. So here in Vegas, it's like casino themed, kind of on the outside.
There's one place where it's like a crashed UFO going into the building. That's super cool. They had all these fun things.
He's building up this whole thing. So I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like amazing, right? We walk into this place. There's 3 customers in this 100,000 square foot building.
It's like 4 Costco strapped together.
Yeah, it was so big. I walk in.
Just imagine the saddest Best Buy you've ever seen.
There's 50 registers. There's only one open.
Or like Circuit City right before they went out of business.
Half the aisles were empty.
Well, I say, Dane, this place as it goes down, he goes, I promise it used to be really cool.
It used to be really neat.
Then I go, well, hey, while you're doing that, I'm going to go check out the video games. So I walk over to the video game place. I ask the guy,
so funny.
Hey, so I just bought a Nintendo Switch, what do you guys got as far as new games? And he like looks down
Deadpan.
and he goes, well, we got a few GameCube games in. And I'm like,
you're like, wait. And he's like, new in the box, never open.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got PlayStation 2 down this aisle.
It was
and Xbox 360. I'm like, dude, that was like 8 years ago. He goes, times are tough.
My time before we had gone back to that, I hadn't been there since HD, DVD, and Blu-ray were facing off to see who would be the victor.
The red
that was
versus
the last
blue
time
packages.
I was at Fry's Electronics, and back then it was popping, man.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, I know. It was.
I can think of a young Dane Hennon walking through.
Well, did you know?
I used to love electronic stores like that.
That Fry's had a restaurant in the middle,
Yeah.
so you could go and
Fry's
eat.
had a restaurant. They had like
delicious lunch.
full on like appliance areas. I think they sold
The
hot
restaurant
tubs at
was
one
closed
point.
down. It was just storage for a
It was
bunch
just
of old
storage
boxes.
at that point.
It was
Yeah, I
sad,
remember.
but you
It
know
was
what?
really bad.
Hey, for what it's worth, though, Best Buy is going down that same route.
Yep.
Same route, because what used to be the car audio section is now just overflow for TVs.
Oh.
Now they got a lot of appliances over in one section where I go.
Well, they've always had appliances.
I know, but they have more appliances than they've ever had, and also more phone cases than they've ever had.
But the appeal of Fry's was that you got like a taste of Radio Shack with like true, like really niche electronics that you wouldn't find at any like Best Buy or anything like that, mixed with kind of the Best Buy Toys R Us crowd stuff, mixed with appliance stuff. So it just had like everything. And
so I will admit that I
wasn't.
wish stores like Fry's were able to stay open in Circuit City, as those were very good memories back in the
Good
day.
times.
I miss the idea of it. All right. Anyway,
All
that's
right.
way off base.
Everybody saying hello. Umberto saying, what the heck? They have to respond to that.
Yeah.
And then Craig Schwent, Milwaukee's coming out with a power inverter as well sometime early 2024. It's on my bucket list. That's pretty sweet.
Very
I know I would
nice.
like it too. And another person who is very excited about getting a Ego generator. My wife, Carly Gates, popping on here
Oh,
saying,
wow.
we have 0 working flashlights right
I'm
now.
sorry
in
to
our
hear
house.
that.
The only things we have working are the lights in the garage, which are my scan grip headlamps.
Yeah.
All the other flashlights in the home. So here's another thing. We get in the car the other day. Carly goes, hey, where's my safety tool? Right?
Oh, like the one to break
she
the
keeps
glass
the safety
kinda
tool
thing?
to cut the seatbelt, to cut
Yeah.
to break the glass, because
You
God
never
forbid,
know.
you never know. You might need it. So we keep it in the vehicle. I said,
Sure.
oh, I saw Augie using it the other day.
What's
and
he using it
Well, he
on?
goes and gets it out of the car and uses it because it's a flashlight.
Oh, I was afraid he was going to be hitting it on
Also,
something. I was so
oh
afraid
no,
was
he
gonna
does
be
that. He
hitting
uses the
something.
end tip for stuff to bang and hit.
Yeah,
He's
that's
probably
good.
poked some holes
Over
in
at
the
the
walls in his
forge.
room.
Good.
The hardened tip. So anyway, I had to go find it,
Yeah.
check to make sure it was still good, put it back together, put it back in the sleeve, and I put it up on my shelf
Okay.
next to where I need to put it in the car. But point is, even those types of flashlights he finds, and he's going to sniff it out and use it. Man. Leave it in the yard with the light on,
Well, I
just
like
for fun.
Umberto's answer here. He's with me on the crank flashlights. The kid's got to work to get that light.
Yeah, my kids.
They got
my
to
kids
crank
hate
it to
that.
get any
Yeah.
light.
Riggs 920 says kids suck the life out of every flashlight. Han says just buy the Buff Bright headlamp. That battery will last 10 hours. There you go.
Yeah.
Something.
All right.
I have a bunch of Buff Brights in my garage too, and all of them are dead.
Yeah.
The
Joey
dance party
Belinsky,
mode got discovered.
hot flashlight talk.
Yes, it is.
My
Yeah.
guy saying, smart power tool owners have an inverter to plug in their favorite battery brand to keep those phones going and the lights charged too. Yep, I've got inverters for the truck. Darren says, Scan Grip iMatch 3, insanely bright. I've been using mine recently when taking the kids out on Halloween and fireworks night. We could see perfectly. Yeah. It's perfect.
Done and done.
Your boy Jake.
Boy.
I put the D's in there and the whole house lit up. All D Anthony.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
Then
Pretty
Hans,
much.
being on a boat would be a saver than a truck bed, right?
Yeah.
It's true. Luke saying that's a negative Ghost Rider to not go on a cruise last year. I did in May
Okay,
this
not
year.
last year. So May this year.
Yeah, but that's what I meant. Like
So he's gone on a couple.
the year's
this year,
almost
then.
over. And I always
he's-
bring beadmaker towels and clay to keep the glass on the balcony
Luke's
clean.
a cruise guy. Dude.
He's a
I never,
cruising
I
son of a
love-
gun,
I
you
he's a
know?
cruising
All
son of a
inclusive.
gun.
That's what he loves about that
Yeah.
stuff.
You
I just,
motorboating?
I mean, I wish Dane would pick up like a weird hobby like that where he'd be like,
Yeah,
I go
like-
cruising.
I go to the cruise, and I like to keep my.
But I want
cabana
Dane.
clean.
But I want Dane to go by himself to make the story even better. Right? Dane's like, I booked myself a cruise. Well, nice.
Oh, yeah,
You taking
where are
Liz?
you and Liz
No,
going?
just to get away
It's
from
just me.
myself.
Just me.
What kind of cruise is
I'm
this?
just gonna go
Dane?
escape on the high seas for a while. Might
I
not
love
come
it.
back. I don't know.
Love it. Yeah. Andrew Workheiser
Hey, that
saying,
guy.
working hard on Fresh Up for Men approval. It's no easy task, but coming in hot next week. See you guys soon.
Really?
That is another little plug for next week's show.
Yes.
Andrew Workheiser will be on our Q&A with us from Kosh Chemi, who at SEMA, if you guys didn't see, Kosh Chemi bought Color Lock. So Color Lock is now being absorbed into
Now
Kosh
linked.
Chemi.
We will learn more
We'll
next
learn
week.
more next week, so
Yes.
stay tuned. Fog 1014 saying, is there any non-detailing applications you guys use microfiber for? I have a few dedicated waffles for drying dishes and some terry for quick
course.
hand drying, in addition to cotton for feel. And then he says, if you use microfiber for non-detailing applications, would it be better to use rags to riches or standard free and clear detergent? I thought I remembered Levi saying something like it's better at emulsifying car-related grime. Yeah, so rags to riches is really developed to clean out the chemicals that you use,
Sealants.
where
Waxes.
your home laundry detergent is designed to clean out sweat, food, and stains from just you know,
Protein-based stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what that's for. So it's not saying that rags to riches can't clean that out. It just does a better job it does a better job because it attacks those chemicals personally. The other thing rags to riches can do, because it gets rid of smells too, and stink, is any of your polyester or polyblend performance workout gear.
Performance fabrics.
Performance
Yeah.
fabrics, because it is also a microfiber, Rags to Riches works really well on that. So if you have gym clothes or things like that you wear.
The Under Armour shirts that just develop that weird, horrible smell with time. That you just go,
because the detergent, your normal laundry detergent, can't attack a synthetic weave like that that's so tight.
Yeah.
Polyester and
polyamide. Because remember how he described
fabrics.
He said that the surface tension of microfiber is extremely low, or like the sealants used are extremely low in the fabric, already being on top of it, being that it is already a microscopic weave,
it's all
right?
microscopic.
And so what happens is normal detergents have a hard time penetrating into those microscopic fabrics and removing the actual sealants and things like that with a very low surface tension. So he said that Rags to Riches has an even lower surface tension than that of those sealants and that of maybe those sweat molecules and other things like that that are already in those very tightly woven fabrics and are able to penetrate them and actually break them down and release them from inside out.
And because it's an emulsifier, it'll break in, but then it'll encapsulate and lift them out so it doesn't reattach in the wash.
So if it's your only detergent you're using for a lot of your towels, or you want to just wash microfiber with microfiber, it's not a bad way to go.
No, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt anything at all. So.
I just don't recommend washing some microfiber towels in with your clothes or your normal laundry and using a laundry detergent.
Treat those separately.
It'll tend to mess up because the microfiber does its job. I use it, like, honestly, if my dog lays on something, like a hoodie, right? So, like Callie will do that, right?
Oh, I know. My hoodie
drop
out
a
there.
hoodie.
This shirt got a bunch of dog hair on it when it was perfectly clean this morning. Then I put the hoodie over it.
Yeah, but you put your hoodie down, and then she sees it, and she's like, oh, I'm going to go lay on it. Yeah. It just makes her feel like she's next to you. I'm sure your sweet golden boys do that as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
They'll lay on your clothing or things.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't like it, but Watson will find something and lay on it. So we'll get something that's really covered in dog hair. And what I usually do is we keep a basket of sacrificial microfiber towels, and they are basically, like we said, sacrificial towels that go in the wash and are literally going to die in that wash. But their job, get all the dog hair.
Yeah.
And they go around and they hit all the laundry and pull out, and you pull that thing out and it has done its job with all its little fingers and grabbed everything. But that towel is going to die. It's going in the trash after that. But it's done its job by pulling all the fibers and stuff off.
Sounded like it would be a good place in the future to use some like ripping rags or something when they're on their last legs.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You can do that with them.
Yeah.
That's their last job.
There you go. I like it.
Last tour of duty there.
All right. JTM. Everybody's saying happy anniversary, Graham. Then JTM saying, am I the only one who wonders why there are no cooling holes on the backing plate of the new Rupes hybrid polishers?
They are, the material that they're made out of is not their traditional material. So they are I can't remember the exact type of plastic it was, but it's a synthetic, I don't know how to describe it.
There's a lot of honeycomb on those things too.
It's got flex, but it's also still rigid. I don't remember exactly what they said it was, but I believe because of the thinness of it and just the general design of it, it does keep the heat down on its own without needing holes in it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I don't think that's anything to worry about. And the backing plates, I think you can still buy them separately. So if it's a wear item, you can change it. But when looking at it, at the top base or the head of the machine where the shroud is, there's actually quite a bit of distance between the shroud and the backing plate, which normally you have friction there, right, between the shroud and the backing plate by design. But with the new one, it actually frees up a little bit of space there. So I imagine it's kind of like a mini spacer almost, allowing more rotation out of the plate in general.
Well, it might also be some like pattern of pins on there to help collect air and help dissipate heat.
I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think heat's going to be that big of an issue with that machine.
So we need to power through some of these. We're at 49 minutes with 20 minutes left to go. Joey Belinsky, sometimes even just using the Dawn power spray to do the dishes will hit me in the lungs.
That can get a little
I can see that, man.
Yeah.
Randall Gerlander, hey guys, is Microcut the finishing polish in the KCX line? Thanks. Yes, it is. There's also Microcut and Finish. You can pick up. It's got a little more, some wax and some sealant and stuff in there. And then Hans, will Luke be foaming turkeys?
I wouldn't put it past
Who
that
knows?
guy.
And then Jim, why not air pressure adjustment on the Ultra Air Blaster? It doesn't need it. You can always add it. There are tons of ways to be it. You can go down to Home Depot. You can pick up
Inline valve.
an inline valve that you can add that can adjust. You can even put a pressure regulator on there. You can do all kinds of stuff. Yes, there are companies that do. Maybe V2, we throw that same pressure adjustment on there, but we didn't need it.
The reason why it's not needed on that gun is because whenever you're using the Ultra Blaster, you're always wanting the most amount of pressure out of that. You're always wanting the most amount of air, right? That's the whole point of that gun. With the Ultra Air Blaster Plus, with introducing chemicals into the mix, there may be times where you're not wanting to lay out on a ton of air, right? But you're wanting to balance the amount of air and chemical itself. So having the two adjustments there on the amount of chemical being sucked up on the actual cartridge or container versus that your adjustment down there, now you're able to kind of find that balance between how much product you want being applied versus how much you want working with air to produce that vortex of cleaning. A couple different ways to go about doing it, but really for the Ultra Blaster, it wasn't necessary. I'm sure if we were ever to do a V2, we could include that if people wanted that. But like I said,
there's all those items are already out there. You can modify yours however you want by going down to Home Depot. You can pick up a valve adjustment. You can add a regulator. You can add a whole bunch. You can add a swivel. You can add a whole bunch of stuff to them, and that's kind of why we left it the way it was. If you want to mod it to the way you want, that's what you do. I mean, when I get one, I go and grab new brass fittings because everything I have is brass. So I want all brass, so there's certain things that each one of us is going to do just in general. So that's one of the reasons. Harry Housewife saying Ultra Air Sprayer Applicator, air and spray applicator, fantastic. Got to play with John Holes the other week. Excellent.
Okay, wow, there's no apostrophe in the whole song.
Yeah.
I saw something different.
He played with John's Holes.
John's Holes the other week.
And Super Auto, I recommend zero weight, 0W40 for the turkey, as it's thin enough for easy use and application.
Yes.
And will also hold up to the extreme heat needed to fry the turkey.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I like that.
Kirby Thompson saying, Anthony, very good point on putting in a filter on the airline. Cheap options on Amazon and prevention is amazing to see the results. Yeah, exactly.
It is. It's a cheap insurance policy.
Alkaline Dan saying, how would pre-treating with a pre-wash such as Built Handler's Touchless work without access to a hose? Does pre-wash need to be completely 100% rinsed off prior to using Absolute and ONR? I have not used their touchless wash system, so I don't know.
But I don't see a problem with doing it. It's
either.
like a pre-wash and then following up with your normal rinseless procedure. Sure.
Luke Berkey saying,
extra work.
I can confirm that I have the mystery box plus the other orders next to my desk
Okay.
at work. Hunter Redman saying, just got my first bottle of Absolute. So excited to get home and try it out. Have fun, Hunter.
Enjoy it, man.
You got a
Welcome
great
paradise.
winter ahead of
open
you.
that cap,
That's
get
gonna be
away.
A
nice.
little bit of the late and great Jimmy Buffett and go to Margaritaville.
That's right. Ryan Rigdon saying, reggae, I'm heading to Jamaica tomorrow. Try sneaking some of that O&R with me. There you go, buddy.
Sounds
or
like you're
better,
gonna see Luke
Absolute,
Berkey there.
says Ryan.
We might make Luke Berkey in the tropics.
And then Super Auto saying Quadzilla.
Heck
That's
yeah.
a good name for it. And then Super Auto saying a teal 16 by 16
They want more
ripping
of those teal
rags.
towels.
And then Joey saying ripping rags in the TR SEMA towel color. Brionicle saying, what's up, guys? I'm training to be Anthony's bodyguard for SEMA next year, getting ready for Grand Ambassador Deathmatch 2027.
Look
It's
at
gonna
that.
be. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be our most violent Grand Ambassador program yet.
They're just straight up going to go
It's
to the
gonna be.
death match.
It's gonna be crazy.
Man, that's gnarly.
Harry
Get out while
Housewife
you can, guys.
saying, Darren saying, I wish I got $1 for every time someone Googled Harry Housewife.
Oh, no.
And then Super Auto saying, great minds to Joey. Michael Kaufman, anyone who uses Uberflex hose with the Active 2.0. The 2.0 really wasn't my top choice because I heard it was purging issues with certain hoses. I have not heard that, man. It's interesting.
News
Good
to
to
me.
know. Jeff C says, any update on the quick body ETA? Looks like it may be available again direct from Diamond ProTech. At the moment, it is direct from Diamond ProTech.
Okay.
Then number 3,
Oh, we're on
Dane,
to page 2, I guess. There we go.
Joey Belinsky says, I'm using the 25 and 50-foot Flexzilla hoses, essentially the same as the Uberflex and a 100-foot Cobra Jet. They've all worked fine. Michael saying, thanks, that was a concern of mine.
Okay.
Joey saying, as long as you don't have the water pressure issues at your location, you shouldn't have any trouble. Longer hoses just take a bit longer to let the air out of.
Sure.
And Michael saying, I don't have any water issues. Use a Sun Joe now, just looking for more gallons per minute. And then Shax Wraps in Detail and saying, hi, everyone. What's going on?
All right, back.
And then Nate Sam. What's up, buddy? $20.
You didn't have to do that, Nate.
Who we got to
That's
hang
very
out with at SEMA, saying, SEMA, hair of the dog. Thank you guys for an awesome show. Got to try the new EdgeGuard pads this weekend, and I absolutely loved
They look
them.
great,
Pretty
man.
awesome. Yeah.
They're nice. That's a great pad.
And then Masters of Shine Detail and PTF is Teflon, I believe. And then
Okay.
Kirby Thompson, Levi, on bikes. I use TriFlow too. The bottle allows to give it a drop on an internal rotational spot. If you do stick it in a bucket, please use WD-40 to knock out the water and then blow it out. That's a good point too.
yeah.
Do the WD-40 and then do the TriFlow. Because WD-40 stands for Water Displacement 40th Recipe.
There you go. I
don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
Nate
know.
Som says, I'm a huge bike nerd, and I've got a dedicated crock pot with silica melt wax. We'll never go back to those baby squeeze
Dang.
bottles. There you go. Nice, Nate. Nice.
Okay.
A crock pot.
That's pretty crazy.
And then Kirby saying, Levi TriFlow, in its inception, was for elevators. Look at that.
That
Look at all
makes
these things you
sense.
guys are learning. That's awesome.
I love it. It's fountain of
Super
knowledge
Auto
today.
2K saying, I think the issue with hoses versus pressure washer was the hose diameter, not length. That's a good thing.
Okay.
Darren saying, or then Ulysses saying, I saw those pads at the Budco event. Super legit.
Very
Yep.
cool.
And then saying, everyone, hello, happy Friday Eve.
Hello, right
Craig
back.
Schwent, when it comes to paint on a car versus paint on heavy equipment, I'm guessing there's a difference between the two. I've polished cars, but never heavy equipment. Some have an Emron style paint, which is a very hard paint. Some are powder coated, which is totally different than a base coat clear coat, unless those powder coats have a clear coat on them. Some fiberglass panels are just sprayed from a factory and it doesn't have any UV protection. So yeah, Craig, there's a big difference in heavy equipment paint. Most of the time it's also single stage. So Luke Berge says, DVK, I still cringe even though he doesn't work there anymore because you're using the kamikaze backing plate. And then Umberto saying Tony Mazzell got roasted on the PNS live stream with what we thought was margaritas, but was cleared up by Sydney with Fireball.
Oh, no.
Okay. Dabbler saying, FYI, mors ad laudum is Latin for death to dirt.
That's
awesome.
pretty
Nice.
cool. That's cool.
Oh, and the Japanese on the ADA shirt is translated to Honda, hopefully.
Yeah.
You can only
Nice.
hope it's accurate.
We're
Look at
hoping
those little,
that's
look at
the
those
case.
little, jeez, Dane going, those are some great little Easter eggs.
They're Easter eggs. And
I
they're
love
fun.
that.
Joey Valinsky says, I've got a mirror hanger and 2 other placards that I leave in my car, advising them not to wash my car when I bring it in. It's worked so far, fingers crossed.
All right. Well, good.
Dan says, yep,
Yep.
it's the Miata. Fluid film is an underbody treatment to prevent rust and corrosion. Scratches look like towel marks from excessive hand pressure. Thanks all for the Uno Advanced suggestion. I'm sorry,
Dan,
bud.
that would-
That's a bummer.
I think what you got to do, you got to be crazy, and you just got to tell them, hey, if you touch this car with anything other than what you're spraying it with, then we will have, we'll have issues, right?
Yeah.
I'll find out where you live, right? I might run into your mailbox.
Yeah, you never know.
Right? I might leave something on your doorstep. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But I think I guess you don't have to jump to the threats immediately, but I think you could just start with
problem
some
is he lives in
cautionary
Alaska.
thing.
Right. Most people in Alaska
Well,
will respond to threats well.
I don't think they respond.
Like, you
Probably
don't
won't
know-
work well, especially when they...
I don't know about that.
As a former Miata owner, I don't think they'll feel particularly intimidated by a Miata owner. That's also kind of a thing.
It's an RF though, right?
No, he goes full soft top.
Oh, full soft top. Then never mind.
But he's
so,
got the sweet, Brembos and
It is what it is.
Recaros, and it's
what I'm
nice.
wondering is
I
on
like
that
it a lot.
flexi film though. I wonder if they actually got some overspray on the paint,
They might
which
have.
is why they
Then
washed
rubbed it off.
Yeah. They probably did it and
Bummer,
go, oh
dude.
crap, we should probably clean this off, and then that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Luke Berge saying freaking IK's got to change that charger port to a USB-C. Maybe use that charger to charge your scan grip. It might fit. You never know.
All right.
And then Jay's Car Channel says, Happy Friday Eve. FYI, you can buy scan grip cables from them. I did it a few weeks back. Well, there you go.
All right.
And then Luke says, freaking scan grip's got to change that to charging
Okay,
port
we
to
heard that first
USB-C. And Super Auto.
Which is the first time.
Years ago, I went on the road for work, and when I got back, my girlfriend said, I washed your truck, the Super Auto, for you while you were gone.
Oh,
I
no.
thanked her, and then noticed the front chrome bumper at the time was covered in scratches. She used a Brillo pad. No, actually, it was a Scotch-Brite pad, I think.
Oh, no.
That's very sweet of them to wash your truck for you.
But she cared.
Yeah,
you know?
at least they washed it. Jay says, Fry's had the best sandwiches. Joey Belinsky, I'd go there for cheap lunch.
Did they?
all
Did they
the
actually have
time.
good
Good man,
food?
Joey. They had a
impressive.
food court, yeah.
I know, but was it good though? I guess that answers the
Joey
question.
says yes. And it
That's
makes sense
crazy.
because there were a lot of them in California. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then everyone saying, oh no. And then Super Auto saying, Fry's Electronics was great. Micro Center is pretty cool. I'm Radio Shack years old. Hashtag
Okay.
realistic.
Micro Center, there was like
Literally
Comp
the brand,
USA,
realistic.
Circuit City.
So we had a Comp USA for I think I don't know a few years,
Yeah,
right?
we had an
A while.
Ultimate Electronics. That was
Yeah.
a good one
But
too.
we did
Yeah.
not have a
Missed
we
that.
did not have a Micro Center. I believe and Micro Center is still very successful to this
Yeah.
day.
Seems
But they're
that
more
way.
on the East Coast, I believe.
So
Yeah.
40-year-old Virgin is very similar to what the electronics store they worked at. That was like Ultimate Electronics.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot like Ultimate.
Because they had the theater room. They would have all
Yeah.
the TVs. You'd
Which
go to the
Fry's
car
did that
audio
too.
room, and
Yeah.
they'd have all the... They'd put like
and
car
and
seats
traditional salesmen
so you
too.
could
Yes.
sit and listen.
And traditional salesmen.
Yeah.
Guys with their khakis hiked up to here.
So
and-
we do have an RC Willie here in town, which is I believe just local to us in Idaho, right?
Yeah.
Idaho and Utah.
Idaho and Utah. But the RC Willie is the closest thing to probably that style of electronics.
Yeah.
but you'd
area.
have to combine it with Best Buy to really have anything
Yeah.
close to
But
that
because RC
experience.
Willie does have the salesman, right?
Yeah.
Suit tie salesman selling electronics. You know, back
sell,
in the day.
They sell carpet, flooring, furniture, and home electronics.
Yeah.
And Hastings is basically like a Baby Fry's for us.
Well,
at the
but
time.
it's like RC Willie's the only store here we have locally where there's somebody that will actually sell you a camcorder
Right, yeah.
and walk you through the features,
Allow me
right?
to walk
Yeah.
you
You
through
go,
the
you go to a Best Buy, you say, hey, I want to buy a camera. Well, there's the information. Scan on your phone.
Yeah.
You watch several videos on YouTube about it. Okay, well, thanks anyways.
We're not
Yeah.
taking
Right,
appointments
but RC
now.
Willie is like straight up like, hey, I see you looking at that camcorder. This shoots in 4K. We'd like to try
There's
it out.
something charmingly old school about it.
I like it. I think it's
It's kind of
fun.
used car salesman-y, but
helps.
not too
It's
bad.
fun.
It's like
Right.
just the
Good
right
time.
amount.
Super Auto saying, Andrew, I don't see any jobs listed on the KCX USA LinkedIn pages. And then a $10 super chat. From Jay's Car Channel
Jay.
saying, thanks for the great show. As always, fellas, have a great weekend. Thank you,
Aw,
brother. We
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Darren says, oh my gosh, you may have just saved my hoodie. I'm going to go sacrifice a towel now.
There you go.
Have fun with that, buddy. And then Joey saying, ripping rags can also be used as a laundry sheet.
I mean, it's not a fabric softener,
It's mostly just for dog hair.
but it'll
Yeah.
suck up dog hair. So
Yves Saint-Jacques saying, thank you guys for answering my questions. Can't wait to receive my kit of all 4 Ultra Air Blasters. Nice, man.
Nice.
Use that.
Enjoy.
And Darren says, John's hole. That's another story for another day.
Oh, no.
And then Alkaline saying, glad I was able to catch the Q&A today. Thanks for all the help, y'all. Super Auto
Welcome,
2K
buddy.
says, rippin' rags sounds like something needed in the Gates camper after ADA visits.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
yeah. Absolutely.
Just-
Don't worry.
They're
When we get them, we'll
not-
have them stocked in the camper for that
They're
reason.
not flushable, especially,
Yeah, that's
especially
not,
in
that
that.
is not a feature. that we
Levi, your
advertise.
bathroom's plugged up.
Oh, no,
man.
Darren's got some ideas.
Darren has a rip and rag idea for a video.
Ooh.
And then Fred Shamrock saying, hey, everyone, great seeing y'all at SEMA. It was
Nice
great
seeing
seeing
you,
you
Fred.
too,
Yeah,
man.
too.
That was awesome. It was fun to have you. And then Dabbler says, we also have RC Willies in Nevada. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep,
Nevada
okay.
also.
Makes sense.
And then Darren saying, it's that time again. Thank you all for a great Q&A. Everyone smash that like button, and I will see you all again same time next week. I'm now back off to the Grand Ambassador Battle Zone to fire my next morning show.
Ooh, love to see it, Darren.
Love it.
Keep up
He
the hard work, man. Get
Fights
out there.
the good fight.
He is fighting a very good fight. I appreciate everything he does. And we have
then-
Super Auto that says, I managed a McDuff Electronics
Do you live in the Simpsons universe?
an appliance for a few years in the 90s, a Tandy-owned
Oh,
company.
Tandy
Tandy
owned,
Electronics
okay,
company.
yeah.
That's great. That's
Interesting.
that's an old one.
Yeah,
and then
that's going back.
Craig says, headed out, guys. Missed you at SEMA, but hopefully we'll be there next year.
All
Thanks,
right,
man.
we'll see you then.
Peter Williams says, need some new products for my black Subaru STI. Congratulations, Peter. Enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Fred saying, a vote For Jamie the Cleaner.
Okay.
What is going on?
Showing a little love there.
And
I guess.
Darren, you voted wrong.
What is going on
And now
here?
it's starting to get a little aggressive right here at
what's
the
Jamie
end.
putting in this punch that people are drinking?
Everybody's loving it.
They're
I
all
think he's
commenting
paying people.
now.
No, I think he's putting something that clean maker people are mixing up, right?
David Cervantes, later, guys. Have a great weekend. You didn't barely commented, but hey,
David,
how's
we
it going?
Appreciate it, buddy.
And can't wait. And
Jamie,
just a bunch
Jamie
of
the Cleaner for the win.
Yeah. So we see Jamie the Gleaner. It's like when people do TRG instead of TRC. The Rag Company.
Company.
Way back in the day when the person first made that mistake, and we were, we still do art for people when they
Rag
ask,
Company.
but I made one where it was literally just like Tom Hanks waving on a boat from the Rag Company. It was a whole thing.
That's actually
I was pretty proud of that.
yeah.
I think that person was very confused when they got it.
Rag Company.
And then Ulysses saying, have a great weekend, everybody. I'm celebrating 9 years with my wife. Congratulations,
Congrats.
man. That's awesome.
Congratulations,
All right.
man.
Well, I
All
think
right.
we have pretty much hit that point in
Good
the day.
job.
But great
Good job, us.
Great job, viewers. You did a good job viewing. You did a good job leaving comments. As always, if you got stuff that you missed out on this week, write it down somewhere, save it in your phone. You'll catch up with us next week. Or you can ask during the boring, you can just ask customer service. But it's more fun to ask here, right? So either way, we got you covered. But apart from that, I just want to, like they said, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here. And if you haven't caught up with our SEMA stream, if you missed all that stuff, please head over to the main channel and watch a few of those. There's some really good insights into upcoming products from different vendors. And I went through and actually added a lot of chapters to them. I still need to add it to that 4th day video, but the 1, 2, 3, they all got them. So it's easy for you to just pick around and look. All right. That's really it, guys. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up next week on the podcast.
See ya.